new day on 104.5 The Zone. This is RKW. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, 615-737-1045 is the number. We've got Coach Dave McGinnis, a former Titan and a former Gator, Ben Troupe, stopping by at 8:20. Sean Henry of the Nashville Predators as hockey returns in Nashville today. In Thursday, 3 picks for you to preview the football weekend coming up at 9:20. Streaming live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Thursday, October the 10th. What's up? Good morning.
Good morning.
What up, good people? Morning, man.
You got your, what is that called? That hat that you're wearing?
This is a Kango today.
A Kango.
Yeah, Kango today, yeah. A little old school cap. They used to wear like the old man Bruce Arians used to wear the other kind. Yeah, that type of Kango. I got on a bucket right now, though. Little bucket hat.
That's a little bucket hat.
I had to get something for the weekend and weekend games and stuff.
That's right.
My forehead has been getting attacked by the sun, okay?
Don't do that. You don't want wrinkles up there, Mom.
I need it for the vitamin D and everything, but it's about time for me to get a little bit smart about protecting my forehead during the games and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be
What are you doing this weekend?
Sideline.
That's okay. You're meeting for the Titans game. I didn't know if you had any other extra games going on.
Florida hate week.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I might. What do I got? Alligator. I ain't got nothing alligator.
No kids stuff, huh?
Your middle school team is already hoisted a championship. So
put that trophy up.
Yeah, you're in the off season.
We put that trophy up, man. Was even told we were recruiting players over there. It's nuts, man.
What people will say.
But no, I got the Vols to worry about. No, I said I wasn't worrying.
To be excited about.
Your BVS flared up there. Yeah,
it did flare up a little bit.
I don't know if protecting your forehead has anything to do with Tennessee, Florida, but sure.
No, but no, I got that this weekend. So I'm either driving kids around, getting driven around by my kid, and watching football. So a little small stuff this weekend. The youngest on fall break still. I wonder, is everybody at 38 on their way back up here? So
how long is that? A week?
A week, yeah. They get a whole week these days. So, but super fascinating though. I like it. He's at home. He said he was bored
here
one day.
Too. Yeah, I know. That's what you're saying.
He said he was bored. I'm like, kid. Me and his mom went back and forth.
Keisha didn't take well to that one.
Nah, we went back and forth on speaking on what boredom means in our household. Boy, you better go do a puzzle or something.
Find an activity.
Yeah.
Crossword.
Yeah, do a crossword puzzle or something. Because I got a book at home. I'm old school like that. Like
usually, if I said anything about being bored, a big chore was going to follow that.
Oh, speaking of which, then, we went and picked up some mums and pumpkins yesterday, man. And guess who carried the wheelbarrow around with the mums and pumpkins in? Yes, Miles did. Oh, you bored?
Miles.
You bored?
Put him to work.
And I had an ultimate dad moment with him yesterday. So we're cleaning off the porch, and he's using the blower to, get all the leaves and stuff off the front porch and everything. And I let him do it bad. Because I'm watching them, because I'm trying to teach them before, like, hey, you blow from top to bottom, side to side is what we're doing. And Keisha's about to say, I said, we're good. Let him finish. Let him get all the way done. Let him get all the way done, okay? Because he ain't going to learn if we stop him right now. I need him to do this over. So I held my hand up to her and was like, nah, this is a cool dad moment right here. Let me have this one. I love those dad moments, though. I let him get all the way done. And I said, now look back up at the steps. I said, you see what I'm saying? He was like, yeah. I said, go back up and do the entire thing again. Yes.
He thought he was done.
I'm into that, Kayla. 100%.
I said, wait now. No,
I bet you ain't bored no more.
Yeah.
And I got up this wasp nest I got to kill in my house. Like, oh my gosh, I hate it. But
you need like a whole crew. You need to hire personal assistants.
They said, buy a house. Buy a house, they said. It'll be fun. Oof. You'll get your return on it. Oh my God.
How big is it?
Why we gotta go there?
No, not the house. The hornet's nest, you goober. The hornet's nest.
Pretty soon Ramon's going to be on Amazon.com. Houses.
So defensive.
Near Nashville.
I was, because
bigger
it came
houses.
from you back there. He's been quiet.
Miles had all that to blow off that big-ass house Ramon got. No, I'm asking about the hornets.
Man, I don't know how huge the nest is. It's going to sound first world as hell. It's at my pergola in the backyard.
What the heck is a pergola?
It's station.
Like, those slatted wooden buildings people have outside that things can grow up.
Yeah, so we have one of those. And like on one of the wood beams was crazy. They're not attacking right now. They're dormant as hell. But I'm seeing like maybe 10 to 12 of them are outside the wood on it. And I think underneath the canopy, there's like a nest in there. And I'm just like, they're not like bad right now, but seeing like 12 to 18 wasps hanging on your pergola. So how big is that nest, Bert? Is
big enough to get killed.
So I'm saying
you need to call the expert. Let me know. I'll be over there like Rambo.
God. There's another business idea that you need to go through with.
I'm telling you.
Jeez. You come up with once a month at least.
That's all I do, man.
One a month.
Good ideas.
I'm trying to decide if I want to go get wasp spray or hornet spray or like get a aerosol can and light a torch with it and just flame them. Which one should I do?
The flame one first. The flame one first, definitely. Because worst case scenario, you just buy a new pergola. You know what I mean?
Right.
It ain't gonna mess up your
Where
whole
does one
house.
buy a pergola?
I know.
Sam's have them.
Yes, Sam.
Really?
Sure.
Costco has them.
Get you one of your handy
Ace
buddies
Hardware?
to build one.
This one was built by hand, though, but that's neither here nor there.
Did you
Your
build
hands?
it?
Hell no.
I was like, wait a second. This is not a Ramon project.
Pay to play,
You
Will.
walk up to somebody in an orange vest or a blue vest, depending on the establishment, that says, "How can I help you?" on the back of it, and said, "Yes, you can help me by building me a pergola, whatever that is."
It's sturdy.
Yeah,
It's
right.
all the pergola's cool. It's that time of the year right now.
Never once heard
Sounds
of
like
this thing.
something you
You
gargle.
never heard of a pergola? I didn't know
And
that
I'm the
either.
one from Williamson
Pergola.
County, and I've never once heard of this.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either.
When a dude presented me with the layout of the backyard, it's like, we put a pergola here. I had to look.
Did
it
you
up.
look at it? Yeah, I was going to say, did you go Google
What's a
immediately?
pergola?
I heard a back porch,
Google
a back
pergola.
porch patio. That's all I ever known right there.
Fair enough.
Back porch patio. My bad. I ain't mean to bring my bouginess to the show.
No, it's fine.
You got us going this
It's
morning.
great.
Now I know what a pergola is.
See, you can talk about being bougie all you want, but whenever people figure out where I'm from, there's nothing I can say to overcome that.
No, it's not.
When
goodness.
they just make their minds up about me. You're just, hey, it's Ramon from down the way. Here he comes. You're like Mr. Rogers, but
Yeah.
a lot bigger. And
And
you
not wearing a vest.
shoved men for a living for 11 years. And, all around the corner, it's like, ugh.
What's more surprising, me having a pergola, you not knowing what a pergola is, considering?
Yes. Yes.
Lean in, Will. That's what I'm
Known
talking
man
about.
shover, Ramon Foster. I love that. Shoving men
Yeah.
for a living.
11-year man shover Ramon Foster with Kayla Anderson. I'm Will Bowling. 615-737-1045.
I have some hard work in me, okay?
Yeah, that was hard. I didn't say it was easy. You shoved men for 11 years.
But what I'm saying is, yesterday it was even more bougie by picking up mums and pumpkins, man. I'm over there at the little spot in
No, pumpkin
Hendersonville.
picking, that's fun.
I know.
That's a good wholesome family activity. I'm not gonna make fun of you for that.
Yeah, that's what normal people do.
I ran into some folks
That's not
yesterday,
bougie.
and they were talking to me, and the lady who's running the little shop was just like, sir, who are you? And I was just like, I'm sorry. I was like, I have a radio show in Nashville. She's like, oh, okay, because people were talking to us at the pumpkin place.
I was like,
or whatever.
why would she say that if she didn't know
was
who
just
you
trying
were?
to figure out who I was, and I've removed myself so far from the NFL right now. I don't even bring up the NFL. I was like, well, I just got a radio show, and dude looked at me like, the hell you do? Tell the whole story.
I had one time when I was at my first cross country meet at Tennessee, and we were in Blacksburg, racing at Virginia Tech, and we stopped at a dinner place on the way back. And anytime we would go anywhere, people would really look weird at us because there were like 15 guys that are like between 5'7" and like 6'4", wearing all orange, like all UT stuff. And this lady walked up to us and was like, "Are you guys the basketball team?" I was like, "God bless. Our university is so thankful we're not. We are not, ma'am.
No.
We are not. We are infinitely less athletic than the basketball team.
The basketball.
They would not be at a Panera Bread after a sporting event. They would have something on the plane for them on the way home.
In this new era,
We stopped in a church van on our way back and our drive back after this cross country meet that we just ran.
no basketball
We are
team.
not the basketball team.
in a church van at all, man.
No.
I didn't realize
And our
that-
assistant coach and head coach are the ones that would drive it. Like couldn't be more dissimilar from the basketball team.
I honestly thought y'all
So,
got
yes.
more. I did. Kayla, I thought they
I
flourished.
don't know. I don't know. I'm just a
little
regular
bit
Joe
more.
over here, man.
I mean, you travel to your
I'm
own
a regular
games.
Joe.
That's why I have no
Yep.
sympathy for like, oh, we have to travel across country to play football. Like, oh, you're gonna be okay.
Say ride a bus.
You're gonna
then.
be okay.
Ride
Yeah.
a bus there.
You are still in the 1% of all athletes who mostly go pro in something other than sports. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you have any tips on where Ramon can go to repair his pergola. Yesterday on the practice field at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, Will Levis making throws and fully participating in practice.
Yeah, and it took us a while we couldn't take our cameras out exactly when he started throwing because there's a new rule that he can't hand off anything, or if he does, I mean, we can't shoot that, or if he throws a pass to a receiver, we cannot shoot that. Now, they finally opened up where we could shoot close, like just him throwing to the receivers a little later in practice. So we did get some shots. So if you were on social media at all yesterday, you saw, didn't seem to be any issues with that right shoulder from what I saw in the brief 10 minutes that we got to watch him throw.
Yeah.
So it didn't look like there was much pain, didn't see much grimacing or any of that. And he clearly spoke, and we'll hear from him a little bit throughout the show today. But it seems like he's going to be good to go, barring any setbacks throughout practice this week.
So it looked like he was picking the quarter out of his pocket. He was finishing his entire throw process right there. You've heard that before, haven't you? Picking the quarter out of his pocket. Yeah, he was crossing over. Didn't see much grimacing, to your point. We'll see, because I faked it before in practice too. So, I mean.
It's true.
And
he might fake it during the game. Maybe,
Today is the big determining factor, because when you practice fully like that coming off of an injury, how do you respond? How do you feel the next day? If you feel worse today, then okay, maybe doubt creeps in a little bit. If you don't feel bad, then all right, fair enough.
Business as usual.
Trevor Siemian signed back to the practice squad. Titans legend. Trevor Siemian. So insurance option there. Finally got their third quarterback.
He's a lot shorter than I thought and he's been here before. Yeah, but when we went and talked to him yesterday, I was like, oh, he's a lot shorter than I thought he was, just in terms of when you see him out on the field, their helmets and all that stuff on.
6'3". Kayla
just
Anderson,
seems smaller.
Known judger of men's height.
I'm sorry, but I judge it comparing to my height, which is 5'7".
Yeah.
So when you're standing next to like Mason Rudolph, he doesn't seem as big, obviously. But no, really nice guy. Clearly has that connection with Brian Callahan, not only from Denver, he knew him, but also practice squad during training camp last year in Cincinnati. He spent some time with Brian Callahan. So he just said he got here, got on a plane, is ready to go if he needs to be. But it's the first time they signed a third quarterback since the regular season. They have not had a number 3, obviously. Tyler Boyd was their emergency QB, so they thought it was finally time, with Will maybe having a little bit of a shoulder thing.
The beauty of picking up somebody who was not currently on a practice squad is they can go to the practice squad.
There you go.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be on the 53. So the big roster move yesterday, Leroy Watson to the 53-man roster, and there is reason to believe from the head coach that he might be now the newest competitor with Nicholas Petit-Frere at right tackle. We'll talk about that. We'll hear what Will Levis and Brian Callahan had to say, hit the highlights from that yesterday, and we'll get you a report from Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park coming up.
It is Ramon and Kayla here for Window Nation, man. Window Nation's the coolest, man, because here's the thing. You buy something from them, and they'll give you something free. Like, if you buy 2 windows, Kayla, they will give you 2 free. Plus, you pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. And if you did not know, October's the best time to buy new windows because of the weather and how right now you can catch it before it gets too cold outside.
You definitely want to do that. Save money by not letting the energy out. And if you're not knowing what exactly is going on, you want to make sure you're doing the right thing with replacing your windows. Open each one. Does it open correctly? Does it stay open? Is it hard open? If any of those you are answering the questions, yes, it's hard to open and all of that, yeah, you need new windows from Window Nation. And you can check out their over 30,000 5-star reviews on Google. And just listen to the customer reviews because they are the window experts. You can check them out now for their deal. They've got a good one. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Plus, no down payment, no interest, no payments for 24 months. All you got to do, check them out at windownation.com or simply call them 866-90Nation.
I love living in Middle Tennessee. We've got great restaurants, entertainment, sports, and one of the nation's top Ford dealers right here in our backyard, Two Rivers Ford. Remember that name. Two Rivers has been a staple in our community since 1983. They're locally owned. They have a non-commissioned sales team, and they sell below MSRP. They've been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
RKW, Ramon, Kayla, and Will in hour one on this Thursday morning. 615-737-1045. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling. Titans making some roster moves. They practiced with Will Levis yesterday. Before we dive into that, talk about Leroy Watson, the potential starter at right tackle. Let's go to the phones. James is in Clarksville. Wants to talk UT Florida this morning. What's up, James?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on?
What's up?
I got a question for Kayla because she's from the Northwest. 2 questions. First, when you're in another room and you hear Rocky Top, do you run to the TV because you think Hee Haw is coming on?
Do I think Hee Haw's coming on? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, what's a funny story real quick about that? No, because I got introduced to Rocky Top early on in my career when I was a baby broadcaster, like one of my first jobs. I actually covered Montana when they played Tennessee. And they were so hospitable here to me and like took care of me the whole week. So I never thought that.
Okay. Second question. If your fight song can be played with a banjo, how many teeth do I have?
All of them. But they're veneers.
Yeah, we got expensive teeth.
James, are you a Florida fan? Like, what's the? You gotta give me some explanation here. Well, I think
That was it. That was one of the more interesting calls I think we've had because I was trying to give him honest answers, but at the same time I didn't know if he was a Vols fan or a Florida fan.
Florida hate week. That's all it is.
That's pretty funny.
Tennessee hate week. I love it.
Pretty funny.
James was trying to go after Hill people, and I think he was calling from a holler up there in the Smokies because he had no service.
James, that was very creative.
Maybe he was looking for a moonshine still this morning.
Yeah, half cat, half bear. What are we talking about this morning, Jay? Bring it, man.
Yeah.
Savage, I'm going to have Trash Talk Friday tomorrow.
I expected better.
Yeah, I expected better. That's how you know Florida fans is just a smidge nervous right there, too. I should be. You should be.
Yeah, that's the trash talk you get from Florida fans with Billy Napier as their head coach.
Right.
Used to be so much better than that, didn't it?
That's crazy.
Used to have standards about their trash talk. Now
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yesterday at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, Titans head coach Brian Callahan says that Leroy Watson will get an opportunity to compete with Nicholas Petit-Frere to start at right tackle. That was the corresponding roster move from John Ajuku's release. Watson comes up. Trevor Siemian of the practice squad. Ramon, when you look at Leroy Watson, you look at this fit in the offense, what stands out to you?
First, I want to go back to the summer, if you don't mind, real quick,
You
okay? Because here's the thing. I'm not going to be bamboozled anymore over the summertime articles. Absolutely no way whatsoever.
Did you say barnacles?
Barnacles is, weighing me down right now, Kayla, okay? Or articles, okay? Or just rumors. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't want to hear about the MVP of the summer or nothing. None of that matters to me anymore, okay? I don't even care about the Captain C on the chest no more. I couldn't care less about it anymore, all right? Because I was made out to believe at some point that John Ajuku was going to be competing for a starting job. He was one of the first cuts during the middle of the season. Not okay with that.
He is back on the practice squad, though, or will be.
I was told he was going to, not told, it was made to believe that he was going to be good enough to start, and he was one of the first cuts to ever happen right there. Summertime, I'm here for it, but only if it's real moving forward.
They propped him up,
and I get it.
For sure.
He probably deserved that, but moving forward now to Leroy versus NPF, Nicholas Petit-Frere. It says a lot about NPF. It does. Why do we having an in-season competition more than anything? If it was for depth, then you had John Ajuku for depth. Clearly, this is a move that now they feel a whole lot better about what Leroy Watson is as far as his ability to go into a game and start. Again, I don't know what this is going to look like either because his games and starts is not that, that far. I mean, it's not that vast either. 7 games he's played in, no starts. So he's essentially been a backup in his career. So maybe that's what the development was of him over these last 4 or 5 weeks with the team. I just look at this and say, well, maybe there's either something injury that's going on with NPF or they don't feel as confident as I thought they would about a guy like him starting the rest of the way.
NPF not on the injury report.
No, I think it's the latter for sure. And he was in the locker room yesterday.
That's filthy.
Was speaking about his family that's down in the Tampa Bay area, which we, hope and pray everything is okay. But he was going to talk with them, so we didn't talk a lot with him. But I will say, I think there's some pressure being put on him, and you can tell by the answers that Brian Callahan has been giving us. It's like, okay, he's got to go out there and prove that he can keep that job. Not because he did a good job in, the run blocking on Monday Night Football. There's much more you've got to build upon when it comes to that. So I think they're going to put Watson up there as somebody to challenge him. You're right, Ramon. He's played in 7 games. He started none of those games, and those were all with the Cleveland Browns, which he has the familiarity. Familiarity.
You
Thank
said it
you
right
this
the first
morning.
time. Yeah.
That's going with obviously Bill Callahan, who sees something in him, and maybe you can get this battle going again.
I just want to see somebody ball out. Like, I ain't going to say we shouldn't be having this competition because the Patriots just changed quarterbacks. Also, change happened. But as far as the offensive line goes, out of training camp, those guys are supposed to be your dudes for the season unless injuries happen and stuff like that.
Right.
That's where, to me, is very problematic into thinking that MPF was the best option coming out of training camp.
Yeah.
And again, I think it goes to the planning and drafting of this team moving forward after this year. We're nowhere near that conversation, but you are still a right tackle away.
I'm thinking, Moan, at this point, they're going to have to go get a right tackle.
It's necessary.
Right now they just did.
Moving
this
forward.
is going to get a right tackle.
Yeah. I'm talking about in the draft next year. I think you're going to have to get your future.
But
worry about that in the offseason.
I just can't understand the conversation that MPF probably has to have with himself about like knuckling up in these moments.
Yeah,
right
I'm
here.
just solidifying the point that there's no right tackle, I don't think, at all moving forward. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, you can patch it up this season with either Nicholas Petit-Frere or Watson or whoever they do to, put in that position moving forward. But I think for sure you can say you have to go get your guy at right tackle somewhere early in the draft next year.
Yeah, we'll see.
see.
You might need a quarterback. I mean, there's no way to know on October 10th, honestly. I mean, Leroy Watson, though, has some interesting traits that I think show the potential he has under Bill Callahan. He ran a 4.91 40 coming out of college. He was a tight end who has been converted now to the tackle position. So someone with a significant amount of a high ceiling, 35-inch arms, 7.46 3-cone, 33.5-inch vertical before signing with the Atlanta Falcons as an undrafted free agent to begin his NFL career. Guys, I think the first area, though, where you look at him on a job that he can do for you is most of his snaps in Cleveland last year were as a 6th offensive lineman, as a tight end. That is what the Titans have used John Ojukwu as to this point as well. So while Ojukwu might have been competition for the Titans for right tackle for Nicholas Petit-Frere, I think right away, Leroy Watson is your jumbo tight end.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's a look and a scheme that the Titans are leaning on at this point of the season.
Was that the conversation from Coach Brian Callahan about him being in competition?
No, that wasn't really brought up yesterday.
That wasn't really
brought up. It was just discussed that they were elevating him to the roster.
Okay, well, if that's the case, and I mean, goodness, John Ojukwu, you can hold on to the extra tight end spot. Like that.
Well, yeah, that's a little bit of a concern. And we've seen Daniel Brunskill be brought into at times in that situation.
Brunskill's a steady Eddie out here.
Right.
Boy, he ain't going nowhere. He's been in extra tight end moments too.
That's exactly what. Yeah. Bill Callahan will speak today, guys. I think we're going to get a lot of maybe answers to some of these questions from him today. So I'll be sure to get in on that, and we can maybe bring some of that audio to the show tomorrow because he's always interesting and very transparent on what's happening in that room, obviously.
Yeah.
Brian did say yesterday that he will have a chance to compete for the starting job at right tackle during the week.
Yeah.
Brian Callahan said that about Leroy Watson.
It's not like he's going into detail, though, on, if that's going to be. Yeah, I mean, of course he is because he's getting brought up and Nicholas Petit-Frere is being told that he doesn't have that job 100%, right?
Well, I mean, that was my point in the beginning is saying, like, I didn't know if it was or wasn't. I thought I saw that quote yesterday from Callahan saying that this is
he
still
just didn't
a
go
competition.
into detail about it. Yeah, of course it's competition.
But if it was his job, then you won't bring up competition about reps at that point.
That's telling to me.
Yes, that's very telling
I think
to me.
I just assumed because he's been talking about Nicholas Petit-Frere as if he's not really 100% won that job. Even after that Monday Night Football game, every question that has been asked about MPF has been like, well, he's still got to go out there and prove it. Well, he's still got to show us. So I think I assumed that it wasn't a for sure that he was going to win that job.
Yeah, well,
no matter who he was competing with.
It looked like his rope was a little short this week too, considering the way you can get after the way Indy can get after the quarterback with Latu being one of those guys that can rush, even though he rushes over the left tackle side for the most part. So,
and Jalen Duncan, I think, is a little banged up too. So I don't know his status quite yet. So.
Yeah, but the Leroy Watson doesn't necessarily settle me as much. It just makes me it just puts me in the mindset that the competition level of practice is more heightened. That, look, if MPF isn't having the day that you think he should, then he's going to be yanked. Because he did have a few plays in that game to where if the ball wasn't gone from Will Levis, then he was going to get smacked on his back too. There are still deficiencies in his pass protection. And for whatever reason, it's not correcting itself.
It does not show any confidence in Nicholas Petit-Frere at this point of the process that you're continuing to rotate guys to try to replace him.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like they don't want him to be the right tackle.
Or they're waiting for the right free agent to be available at this point. And again, I thought I saw Leroy Watson on the sideline earlier this year. The knowledge is there, I guess, as far as what he's capable of doing and competing. And look, given an opportunity where you cut one of your guys and bring him up, like the scenario is they're still searching, and that doesn't make you comfortable. And as much as I'll speak for myself, I've given Will Levis flack or the quarterbacks of the offense, you can't run one if you got to be running around and not sure that you're going to be protected. Those are the issues you're dealing with right there.
Right. And I will say this too, because people in the F&M Bank chat were wondering why did they even cut Watson in the first place? And, clearly that was the start of the year. Maybe they saw something in camp from Ojukwu that they liked a little bit more and wanted to give him an opportunity. We don't know that. You maybe can speak better to why a guy doesn't get in now he's given a chance. I don't know. Maybe you see improvements from Watson throughout the last 4 weeks.
I think Watson was more hideable, if that's a word, than what John Ojukwu was at the time. I don't think we saw a whole lot out of Leroy Watson to say, oh, yeah, another team is going to come pick him up. But you did, in a sense, with John Ojukwu, with the summer that he had, his athletic ability, and just how young he is in his league, although he's already 25 himself.
Yeah, he is.
I think this was a payoff for him more than anything. Coaches do play that game to where if you do everything I ask you to do, and that's all we ever heard about John Ojukwu this past summer, I'm more likely to roll with you than somebody else. And I think they had the ability to hide Leroy Watson better than John Ojukwu.
That makes sense.
Will Levis, talking to the media yesterday, says, it's my first time throwing since coming back from the AC joint injury. Says, I expect to be a little sore, but I'm just going to have to probably work through it and see where I'm at tomorrow. Tomorrow, of course, meeting today, says he's got to go through it, feel it out. The Titans are going to have to realize some kind of process, figure out some kind of way to get the real answer out of Will Levis on how he's feeling. Because hearing Will Levis talk about gutting through it and getting through it and, I'm going to be sore, as tough as that guy is, or just the way that he's wired, I don't see Will Levis coming to the training staff saying, hey, actually, I'm not feeling great today. Let's shut it down. Like, if he's practicing fully on Wednesday, Will Levis is playing on Sunday. Unless something really weird happens.
What was his temperament like yesterday, Kayla?
He's ready to go. I mean, we speak to him at the podium, right? Yeah. So he, comes out there. Great. He was, great answers, by the way. He always has really thoughtful, I just love how he speaks with us, that he's kind of transparent, but at the same time, he has a little bit of a tough outer layer, but he let it loose a little yesterday and talked about some things that were tough in terms of, breaking down his play and maybe what he's learned. But I think he had that, you could see the look in his eye, like he is ready to get back out there, because even he kind of mentioned it, sitting on the bench and knowing I wasn't going to go back out there, it bothered him. And he even admitted that. Like, it bothered me that I couldn't go back out there. So I think he's ready to get out there. And you're right, Will. I don't know if he's going to be saying anything in terms of if he feels uncomfortable. No. They'll just have to see something if they really want to sit him. Because if it's up to him, he's going to play.
Yeah. And again, it's what's best for the team at that point. It wasn't, not for you.
Yeah.
For all we know, the conversation of who's the franchise guy can be done after this week if he doesn't play and Mason goes in and crap the bed. Like, Levis is your guy. At least it ends that conversation. Levis is one of those guys, to me, it seems like is high strung, and that's a good thing to be. I just don't know if I want my quarterback wired that tight all the time.
All the time. There's like a happy medium I think you can find with those types of quarterbacks. And Brian Callahan did mention yesterday, he doesn't ever want to take that competition mentality out of someone or the aggressiveness, but there is at some point some balance you've got to find with it. And he did say that. And I do think that's something Brian Callahan is working with behind closed doors, or, things that we can't see with Will kind of moving forward. You can't always be strung so tight because that doesn't always benefit you out on the field.
What's nuts is it may be better for him to sit this one out this week in a sense, because you essentially got an open competition at right tackle. You're playing against a division opponent this weekend. And also, I'm guessing Flacco's going this weekend?
It's a really good question. That was something we brought up in the locker room. First of all, they are mind blown that they are again preparing for two quarterbacks, and there's no excuses. But
defense.
The look on the defensive faces when I've asked, like, hey, is it kind of weird you're facing another situation, you're preparing for two, and you could tell they're like, yeah, it is different. There's no excuse. We're still going to prepare for two. But with saying that, I don't know. I don't know who they're really going to.
I think it's Richardson.
I'll
give you the answer.
That's what my gut is. But man, it's like this is probably one of the more tricky ones, because I do feel like Flacco just gives you such a better, opportunity to win if you're the Colts.
ESPN reporter Stephen Holder had a video of Richardson throwing on the move yesterday at Colts practice, saying that is something he did not do at all last week.
Okay,
for sure.
So that points in the right direction.
But as far as Levis goes, again, if you're with it and you're healthy, and of course you can take the Toradol pills. I think that's what they give now, and feel all right. Good,
yeah.
But don't throw yourself in harm's way if the protection's not going to be there this weekend too. Because it can turn from a couple weeks thing to a month long, and you don't want that, considering we need to see him the entirety of this year.
Right, and he was even saying he's been practicing trying to land on his left side more, and I'm just like, oh geez, that's what that starts to worry me a little. Then on how you're thinking so much in this situation, that's what worried. Now that I'm like, wow, okay, now you might be overthinking if you get out there and you're trying to avoid that right shoulder.
But Richardson was limited on Wednesday. So if he's practicing at all, I feel like it's optimistic from the Colts' perspective that he's going to be in there.
Yeah,
I hope he is. I'd rather play him than Joe Flacco. There is no doubt.
Oh yeah, you got the better
Not
chance
even
to
close.
win.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson gives the Titans a better chance to win.
Absolutely,
he does.
I just think if Will's going to go out there, and I'm cool with him going out there if he feels ready, just don't overthink, man.
He's playing, yeah.
Right? You just gotta be more free. And I'm not saying with plays that you're throwing like stupid balls, but just be you.
Say he's been free as hell out here.
I think he's actually been more so the opposite, Mo, and I think that's what's caused him problems.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying as far as like letting the ball loose the way he has.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird way to say it.
Free, yeah.
615-737-1045. Coming up, some good news in the Vols injury report. I'm still just getting used to saying college injury report. With their matchup against the Florida Gators, and there is a player in the NFL taking drastic measures to prove to his head coach that he is healthy. We got that story for you next.
It's Ramon Foster for United Structural Systems, letting you know they are a foundation repair and waterproofing company, have served the Middle Tennessee area since 1994. They have more than 25,000 satisfied residential customers. So if you walk around your house and notice soil cracking or pulling away from your home, leaving holes or gaps next to the foundation, your bricks could be cracking, walls bowing, doors or windows sticking. These could all be signs of possible foundation issues. Your house may be trying to tell you something. On the waterproofing side of things, that could include drainage or sealers, oftentimes both. But up to 50% of the air you breathe on the first floor of your home is the air that came from your crawl space. So control that moisture and create a healthier home for your family by encapsulating the crawl space. Many repairs are guaranteed for the lifetime of your home because USS has been here since 94. They aren't going anywhere. It's not like a new company that's in town and then they're gone tomorrow. No, you don't have that issue with USS. They guarantee their best. Call them at 615-488-7855 or online at USSTN.com.
Thursday morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Wrap it up. Hour number 1, 615-737-1045. Tennessee, Florida this weekend, and an injury report for the Vols has Squirrel White and Brew McCoy both as probable to take on the Gators this weekend. Dante Thornton questionable. So the bad news, all 3 receivers are on the injury report. The good news is your top 2 likely going to be available.
Love that, man, especially on the Brew side. I'm waiting for Brew to have that breakout game, man. And Florida's a physical team. Well, it's SEC play. And you're going to need a guy like him to set that up that's, got a little bit of savviness to him. I like Dante Thornton being out there in a sense, but, like, who besides Brew is going to be able to, be force-fed in that moment right there. And that's why I like the idea of Brew being probable for this game. Squirrel, I didn't expect that. I'll be honest.
I didn't either.
I know, because I thought he might be out.
Did not.
I think we all did.
Yeah, I did. At least, and again, watching Mike Matthews, maybe that's where Dante Thornton, that's where Mike Matthews steps in at in a game like this.
Matthews mostly a slot, so I would imagine that's a Chaz Nimrod role if Dante Thornton can't go.
Yeah. Wow.
Outside receiver. Because he usually doesn't move those guys around into different spots in the offense. They all have pretty dedicated assigned roles.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Good report, though. I'll take this going into this one for sure, man, especially with the guys that are out. I'm sure the roles that they play with Jordan Thomas, Edwin Spillman, and Ben Bolton, if you even get a little bit of Dante Thornton, I'll take that too.
And it looks like Eugene Wilson will be back for Florida as well, one of their top wideouts, really talented players. So good day for receivers on the injury report yesterday for Tennessee, Florida.
I think with Dante Thornton too, and I want to continue to see him build on things too, because I just feel like we've seen highlights of him at certain times and then he kind of goes away. It's like those are the players you wish, and I know this offense has not been fluid yet in terms of what you want it to do, but those are the types of guys, and you mentioned Brew McCoy. He's up for comeback player of the year too. Like I want him to get a shot at kind of building on that too. So we'll see. Hopefully, Brew McCoy will especially play. So
yeah, I was a little shocked right there too. Will, you put in a report there was no Bryson Eason on this thing. Mm-hmm. I thought he was done for the year. The way he got carried off the field this past weekend.
Left the Arkansas game with a left leg injury and was not on the injury report at all.
I will say, and you've heard me, we soft. Big dudes are soft when they come to injuries, man. I'm just going to throw it out there. You're more scared of anything.
Well, you got a lot of weight to hold up on those legs. So if something goes wrong with the leg, you got a lot more weight to prop up on those legs than most of us mere mortals who are not man shovers.
I mean,
for a living.
Man shovers.
We're staying with that.
Yeah, we're staying with. I'm okay with
shover.
that. But like my knee did get hyperextended, but I thought like I was gonna have to get it amputated, man. Like I didn't cry. Okay, there was no tears to be had. Just want to make that clear, okay? But I yelled.
Oh, here comes Peg Leg Moan.
That's exactly what they were calling me.
I love it.
Peg Leg Moan.
I love it.
You got one of those cool scooters, though.
I did not.
That's true. Everybody loves those.
You didn't use the scooter?
They didn't bring me the scooter, man.
They probably didn't have one big enough for you.
That's probably what it was. That's probably what it was.
They were like, we're going to use a
Hummer.
wheelchair for his leg.
I just had a boot when I got hurt, and walking on a boot on the hill in Knoxville going to classes, I do not recommend.
I always thought they should have added Heelys to those things, let you slide around a little quicker.
What I needed, though,
I would have actually gotten a date if I'd had Heelys on my boot.
I mean, you got to do whatever you can these days, man. All they brought me was a recliner to my dorm room. That's all I had, man.
Lazy boy?
Yeah, well, I don't know whose boy it was, but that recliner was legit because as soon as them pain meds jumped in, I was on Madden like crazy.
Oh, yeah. You'd made an imprint in that Lazy boy.
I did. I had to. They catered to me, though. I will say that.
Must be nice.
It was.
You guys see this about Frank Ragnow yesterday or this week? Will Birchfield, a radio host in Detroit, says that Dan Campbell was walking through the facility last week when out of nowhere, quote, someone punches me against the wall. Then I get punched again, and I realize it's Frank Ragnow trying to show me his pec is good. That's his way of telling me, look how strong I am. It's good. You ever punched a guy against a wall to prove that you are healthy enough to play a football game?
100%. Just make them feel you real quick, Will. Yes. And all it is, man, Dan Campbell, his team is taking on his personality.
Yeah.
That's what you love about this situation is he has a way of relating to them, being a former player.
Football guy.
Drinking 4 cups of coffee in the morning before his day gets started.
With shots of espresso in the coffee.
Nuts.
I mean,
XL Dunkin' coffees with espresso in them, I believe is what it is.
Just the name Frank Ragnow just screams like ball player.
Yeah, Frank Ragnow's not a DB.
No,
Frank
there's
Ragnow's an
nothing
interior
about
lineman.
that. And you're right. I honestly believe, though, you got a head coach like that just shows the toughness. And there's great things about him that we've seen, too, with Dan Campbell that's not like that. But you have a coach like that, you do try to take on your identity, man. I'm not surprised at all. I love this story.
Yeah, leader of men. That's what he has. And it's showing on the football field, too. Detroit's one of the more physical teams out there. One of his players punching him in the chest like that just shows what their team is built on.
Come at me, bro.
That hard knocks that they had when they were just really beating each other down, now they're seeing the dividends of it. They're seeing the payoff of it for sure.
Frank sounds like somebody that would holler, Ragnow rules, after shoving like a nerd in a locker.
It does. One of those, like,
A locker.
it does.
I was the nerd shover.
Oh, you are the bully?
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Yeah, right. You
Bert the
survived
bully.
it.
No, there was this kid in a gym class. He used to wear the same Metallica shirt to school every day, so I called him Metallica. And we would.
That's how nicknames are made.
I'm telling
That's
you, man.
That's creative.
And
Bert.
that
Why didn't you
kid,
call him like Sandman or something?
He asked for a swirly. He was like, I've never had a swirly before. He was practically asking for it. And then I get in trouble when this kid miraculously gets a swirly.
Did he like the swirly?
He did not. He was not a fan of it.
You said miraculously
I didn't know
like
people
you didn't
actually.
do it.
I don't know swirlies. I thought that was just something that happened in cartoons.
No,
I
it
didn't know
happened.
actually
Do it.
happened.
Yeah, it happened.
And a wet willy.
Unfortunately, there was
Well,
a
that's-
floater in the one he got put in.
No, seriously, a wet willy in your ear.
Oh, well, I know that.
No.
That's different. though.
What? Bert? What did you just say?
What's the statute of limitations on swirlies?
No, the items in the toilet. What?
Yeah, you know what was in there.
615-737-1045.
Headbutt that turd.
That's
Oh, my goodness.
It's a really crappy day at school. Coming
Oh,
up.
jeez.
We gave you the Titans status report this morning. The Colts, though, with an update that is not good for them. That changes this matchup a little bit moving forward into Sunday's game in Nissan Stadium. We'll give you the latest from Indy coming up next.
What's going on? 7:01. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I am Robert Walsh. Titans with some roster moves yesterday, adding tackle Leroy Watson to the active roster, also adding veteran quarterback Trevor Siemian to the practice squad. When head coach Brian Callahan was asked if it had anything to do with Will Levis' availability, he had this to say.
We also signed Trevor Siemian today, currently to the practice squad, just to have another veteran quarterback, just have some learn this week and have some familiarity. So if we needed him for the emergency third on game day, we could potentially use him. So just with a quarterback dealing with an injury, it was the smart thing for us to do as an insurance policy to have Trevor come in and get some familiarity with our offense.
Titans and Colts' first injury report of the week is out. Jeffrey Simmons limited coming out of the bye with his elbow injury, but quarterback Will Levis was a full participant. The Colts currently being the walked wounded, the latest being wide receivers Michael Pittman and Josh Downs. Pittman, a candidate to be added to injured reserve after an injury sustained last week, and Josh Downs out of practice after suffering a toe injury. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Seven a.m. in hour number 2, getting started on Thursday morning's RKW. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, Robert Walsh makes the show happen. 615-737-1045 is our number. Coach Mack joins us in 15 minutes. Titans Radio's head coach. And in 10 minutes, your chance to head to Nissan Stadium on Sunday, not on Thursday, to watch Titans and Colts. We got a couple of tickets to give away for our Titans Ticket Thursday. That is coming up in a matter of minutes. Michael Pittman, back injury, expected to be sidelined for multiple games, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. There is a very real chance that the Indianapolis Colts could be without their quarterback, running back, and number 1 wide receiver when they come to Nashville on Sunday.
Man, boy, it's tough. That sucks for them, man. I feel sorry for them, Will. Hate that for
really?
them. No, not really. I mean, people either glad you got your problems or don't want to hear about them, and I don't want to hear about these, man. They are looking like they're getting Ron Kelly back, but as far as Anthony Richardson goes and his weapons, I mean, you're down 2, and with Josh Downs also having a toe injury. For a guy that's
the speed.
Yeah, I was going to say, utilizing his speed, I'm sure that can be problematic for him if they don't get this tightened up before the end of this week. So, God, I hate that for the Colts, man. For the shoe, though. For the shoe.
That is their slogan, and we don't have to worry about the roof being open or closed because it will be here at Nissan Stadium. But that's big news, and I'll tell you this much, guys. When we talked to Jeffrey Simmons yesterday, while we don't know if Jeff for sure is playing, he's dealing with that elbow issue. Although it looks like he probably is going to play if he can. He did get asked about Jonathan Taylor, and kind of the reaction that he said is like, yeah, I don't really know if he's going to play, which is usually he's always like, yeah, we got to prepare for that. And of course they're going to prepare for Jonathan Taylor. But I think there's a lot of people out there, including some of these players, who don't think he's going to play. He's been dealing with that ankle injury, and he's been such a big part of that offense too, just to take a little bit of the load off, whether it be Anthony Richardson or, Joe Flacco's going to do Joe Flacco things, but he's only played in 2 games, only started in 1. So I think that's the biggest loss too for them, is maybe you don't have to worry as much about that. And then I think, is it Trey Mason? Trey Sermon, excuse me. Yeah, Ohio State guy is the backup. He's a little beat up too.
Yeah. I mean, it's that portion of the season. Everybody's going to have something going on. What if it's not, they're starting running back this upcoming weekend, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, you still got to contain Anthony Richardson too. That's still a tall task right there. He said in some of their stuff on Colts.com that, he didn't know he was going to be able to do everything that he did yesterday with the oblique and everything. So we'll see what his response is like. I expect him to go because here's the thing. Even though Flacco played, they lost with Flacco. And if you're the franchise guy, you're going to try to go. That's the same way, honestly, it is going to be with Levis too. So, But the Colts been beaten down coming into it, already without Alec Pierce, also in a situation where Josh Downs went to it, and they're also without Michael Pittman as far as coming down here this weekend.
Yep.
That's tough sledding.
And DeForest Buckner not in there either.
And DeForest Buckner, too.
On IR?
You got to get them now. They're 2-3. You're 1-3 at this point. You can really make this AFC South a little bit more spicy with a win this weekend.
And you can start to build some momentum because they haven't stacked wins at all this season. They haven't gotten that home win. I think getting that off their back, too, would be really big. And it's a division opponent. Everything is working in your favor, but now you've got to go out and prove you can actually do that. Because we said this against Malik Willis when he came into town with Green Bay. Oh, it's Malik. They're playing a backup. They know Malik. And then look what happened. Mm-hmm. So you have to take control of your own destiny in this situation, especially.
Jonathan Taylor also in 6 games against the Titans, averaging less than 4 yards per carry and only 1 touchdown.
It's wild.
His best performance against the Titans was a 70-yard game on Halloween in 2021 when Carson Wentz did Carson Wentz-like things and threw the pick 6 late, and Titans got the win in Indy.
Yeah, that's a great point, Will. They've never actually had a ton of issues with Taylor, but they've had an issue with the backups.
It was just Zach Moss last year.
So, yeah, but
that's all it was.
In the past, it's been their backups. That's what Jeff said, too, yesterday. It's more so been the backups that they've had issues with. It's, they've been able to always control JT, even if he's, playing.
Even if he's playing.
Yeah.
Been since 2022 since this team won consecutive games in a row. So
you're talking about the
Titans? That is, yeah. Being able to stack that, because at the end of the 2022 season, they lost 7 in a row, if I'm not mistaken, 6 in a row. So
that's a long time to not have 2 wins in a row.
November 13th and 17th of 2022, the Green Bay game. Well,
everything comes back to that freaking game.
Yeah, it does.
Zach Moss last year, 23 carries, 165 against the Titans. Mm-hmm. On October the 8th.
And there was nothing they could do to stop him. I remember watching him just plow up and down the field. I know.
They could have tackled. That would be smart.
Tackle him.
That was one of those games where the D-line legitimately got pushed around. You could see the Colts offensive line make a surge. And that's where this week with Ryan Kelly potentially coming back into his starting role, that's where they got to make a whole lot of hay. But they also lost their right guard. There would be a rookie, if I'm not mistaken, starting at right guard for them this week because Quinn's at left. They're going to rely on the running game. They have to this week. And considering what Green Bay did to the Titans defensive front, I would try to do the exact same thing. Have a situation where you have a running or mobile quarterback.
Yep.
That can really break you down if you're not securing your gaps this upcoming weekend. I'd expect a Green Bay game.
And again,
plan.
he can still throw it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing about AR. And I know he can actually throw, bad balls too, but he can actually get it downfield. So you don't want that happening. And Pierce is the guy that always is the guy that is downfield for them. And he's healthy. So you don't want that.
I'm scared significantly less of Alec Pierce from the Titans' perspective without Michael Pittman on the field as well.
And
Titans need to win. Titans should win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Colts are the walking wounded. Coming into Nissan Stadium, you're at home. They're likely going to have backups at about 3 or 4 premium positions in this game. These are not the Colts that you thought you would be seeing on, your first opportunity in the middle of October. This is a bad team.
It is right now.
Yeah. I think Shane Steichen's a good coach, and I'm curious to see how he makes something out of this and puts lipstick on this pig that he's got coming to play offense down here.
No, that's a serious thing. But I also have to address it and say, well, what kind of lipstick they're going to put on at right tackle?
Exactly.
Yep. Those are similar issues.
Let's go to Eric in Columbia this morning, 615-737-1045. What's up, Eric?
Not much. Hey, Ramon.
Yo.
Your Hornet issue, man. Get you a glass jar, put you some gas in it, and hold it over your hornet's nest, and it'll kill all the hornets in it, and eventually the fumes from the gasoline will cause the hornet's nest to fall down on the gas and kill everything in it.
Yeah, I've seen that. I did that as a kid, too, man. We used to do that around the house with wasp nests and everything. Yeah, I've seen that trend come back. It takes me back to the 90s, man. But my thing is, I want to get an aerosol can and see if I can torch him, though. That's what I kind of want to do.
You're into
I just don't want to get
visuals.
stung.
Thank you, Eric.
Sure.
It's been years since I've gotten stung.
Oh, you don't just jinx yourself.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. but
No.
I'm into the idea of torching them.
I know what's wrong with it. It ain't got no gas in it.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Yeah, so if Ramon comes to work with no eyebrows coming up in a couple of days, that's why. Because they got burned off by him making a flamethrower.
Exactly.
I
Good luck on growing those back, too.
They
It
do
takes
sell
forever.
those, too. I think Tesla sells a flamethrower.
Flamethrower?
Yeah.
Of course they do.
Tesla?
Why would you know that?
Because he Googles everything on this planet.
No, I want to hear from you. I want to hear your answer. Why do you know that? Why do you know that Tesla makes a flamethrower?
One of my friends got one, and I saw it.
What does
on
it come
social
free
media.
with the Tesla?
No, Elon ain't that nice. Okay, absolutely not. No, but they make one. It's actually really good too.
Good at what? Good at
Throwing flames? I don't know what does a bad flamethrower look like?
It's
I would love to know
efficient is
that.
what I'm telling you.
Efficient. Oh, okay.
The way the flame and the stream comes up, it looks very efficient, man. It looks well worth it if you trying to get me a Christmas present.
It is Titans Ticket
Putting a hint
Thursday
out
this
there.
morning on 104.5 The Zone, where The Zone gives you a chance to win Titans tickets on Thursdays before home games. Very self-explanatory. Be caller number 5 right now to win tickets to see the Titans host the Colts this Sunday at Nissan Stadium for their third home game of the 2024 season. Plus, you get 2 tickets to the Titans VIP tailgate with Ron Slade, DJ C-Wiz, thanks to Bullseye Event Group, 615-737-1045. Caller number 5 is heading to Nissan Stadium to see Titans Colts, 615-737-1045. We continue our Titans Colts discussion with Coach Mack coming up next.
One thing that really makes Genesis Diamonds stand out from other jewelry stores is the education you get. These are not clerks behind the counter. These are seasoned pros. They know everything there is to know about diamonds, and they would take the time to teach you in a way that's transparent, informative, useful. They'll even teach you how to buy like a dealer buys. They will show you the inside secrets of the diamond industry. They'll also show you how diamonds are priced and graded out on the world market and how you can maximize your budget. They'll also teach you all about lab-grown diamonds and how you need to be very, very careful with where and how you buy these. All this is done in a relaxed, no pressure, no expectation kind of atmosphere. They know most guys don't know much about diamonds, so they're committed to teaching you and not just selling you. Then, when you're ready, Genesis will give you access to one of the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds in America. They will let you see 10, 15, 20 diamonds in your price range side by side so you can make an intelligent decision on what you want. I'm telling you, if you're diamond shopping, this is the place to go. It's a no-brainer. The education you want, the selection you need, and most importantly, the price you deserve with zero risk and zero pressure. Genesis Diamonds voted the best jewelry store and the best place to buy an engagement ring 10 years in a row. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Gosh.
Thursday morning continues.
Who sings this?
Ramon, Caitlin, Will.
Look at Mack's face.
Hey.
Quit ruining his intro.
That's Robert Walsh. He's not doing it live.
This is incredible.
Coach Mack is presented by Two Rivers Ford.
Turn it off.
That's Robert Walsh
Get him
singing
a
"Return of the Mack."
contract.
Look at that.
Get him a record deal.
Bert, seriously, before we start talking football, I know as a kid you had no attention. You got no attention as a kid. And so you were in the back of that elementary classroom, and finally your teachers passed you around to every room, and they had you just sit outside on the swing during class.
I've been wanting to do this for a couple weeks now, and then today,
That's awesome.
today was the day.
Let me just say that is incredible talent right there.
It is. And
Robert Walsh.
the chat heard it all a cappella, too, because they don't get to hear the real
They
music.
didn't hear anything.
Oh, they don't hear him singing it?
No, you gotta go listen to the podcast if you want to hear
TV
that.
did not hear a
'Cause it was
thing of what
recorded.
just happened.
Dang
They're
it.
probably very
Well,
confused.
everybody that's listening
They
right
can
now,
get their radios
go
on.
get the podcast.
Yeah. That's
right.
It's worth more than anything we're going to say the next 20 minutes.
Turn it
Absolutely.
up. Turn that up.
We might.
okay?
So at the end of the segment, we can play that again,
Okay.
and we can tell everyone watching on Zone TV for copyright rules. Go to the Zone app where you hear all of our music, and you'll
There we
hear
go.
Robert Walsh singing "Return of the Mack." Coach Mack is brought to you by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
So great.
Two Rivers Ford. It takes a lot, Coach Mack, to make you speechless, and that was one of those moments.
Yeah, I thought first of all, it was live, and then I looked through the monkey cage here, and I saw him in there dancing, but his mouth wasn't moving. So, being the radio guru that I am, I knew that it had to be taped.
Yeah, that's right.
So then I just enjoyed it.
I know every time. So
pretty good.
Robert Walsh, from time to time, will turn on his red light back in the studio, and he'll tell me in my ear, like, "Hey, don't pay attention to me. I'm good." And I just know something great is right around the corner. And this was great.
The only human being in the greater Nashville area that's got dirt from the new stadium.
Exactly.
Bert.
He was
Birds,
saying yesterday
birds.
it's on his mantle.
Well, of course it is.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is, Coach Mack.
I mean, you got the president of the club came down out of his office to present it to him.
in a very nice jar.
Coaches, it's a nice jar. It's a nice presentation. It was solid.
One of one.
One of one.
One of one. Said his mama asked him about it, Coach Mack.
Just like Bert, his mama probably asked him about a lot of stuff.
Bert was the kid in the back of the car singing along to every song on the radio whose mom never told him to shut up. And so he just decided. It's incredible.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wish he just keep going.
So great.
I love it. Coach Mack with us in studio, as he is every Thursday, talking ball with us before the sun comes up. Coach Mack, Leroy Watson getting an opportunity on the Titans 53-man roster, brought up this week. What are some of the attributes that he brings to the table? When you look at him, athletic guy, big guy, what stands out?
Well, he started playing football really late in life, to begin with. And he was with Bill Callahan, came in here, was traded with a 7th-round pick. And the issue that's been going on at right tackle, you knew that Bill Callahan wasn't just going to stand still.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why he brought him up. So he's got a chance. I mean, he's got a chance now to do something. I mean, I'm at practice, so they're working him in there. But the whole truth will come out when you find out if he's out there on Sunday.
The biggest takeaway from it also is this, to me, Coach Mack, is you hope in these type of situations, these scenarios, these coaches are facilitating with a little bit of, with competition. Ain't no little bit of, you want the best out of MPF is essentially what you want in this.
Well, yeah. I mean, nobody's going to give you anything position-wise in this league. I mean, you can sit here and attest to that better than anybody. I mean, done it for a long time. You don't give anybody anything. There's too much involved.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting the job done satisfactorily, people are going to get beat. But if you're not doing it on a consistent basis, there's always somebody coming behind you.
Yep.
And that's the job of the coaches, is to find the best people at the moment out there on the field. So to your question, he'll get his chance.
Coach Mack, Alec Pierce has become a weapon in the passing game for the Colts. 13 catches, but over 300 yards this season. His yards per catch numbers are video game-like. What makes him such a good downfield target?
Well, the guy can get separation. He gets separation. And the other thing that he understands, there's some receivers that understand nuances of leverage, and he understands leverage. The other thing is, you can be in phase with him in the man-to-man, and he will still break away from it. The other thing that he doesn't give away, if you study receivers, which all DBs do, some receivers will give away the break point as to the leverage that they start using. We can talk about the fulcrum of what they start to do when they drop their weight. He can drop his weight instantly and move. And his numbers, Rhett and I were just going over it before I came in here this morning. I mean, it's pretty outstanding. And so he's a guy you're going to have to watch. They got receiver. Josh Downs is an issue too. Michael Pittman not being able to play, I mean, that's a big loss for them, because Michael Pittman Jr. has been really something, especially against the Titans in the last few years. So, and A.D. Mitchell. I mean, we all talked about A.D. Mitchell during the draft. I mean, this guy can move, and so. But Pierce has taken his chance with what they've given him, and I think he's done way above expectations.
Coach Mack, you mentioned something a second ago, and it intrigued me too, as far as like losing is going to happen. You're going to lose reps. How tolerable, Coach Mack, is it from a coach's perspective, from a position coach and from just like a team perspective, where you can say, all right, it's okay to lose right there in a sense, because people get beat all the time.
All the time.
Mack. What's tolerable though?
At every position, you're going to get beat.
Yeah.
But if it continues to happen and you don't see any improvement, that's what you do. I mean, as a coach, you're looking at it and you're being honest with the player too. I mean, here's what we're working on, and here's what we talked about. The other thing that happens too, if they whatever position, I'm not just talking about tackles, I'm talking about any position. If you keep making the same technique mistakes over and over, well, then all of a sudden it's not sinking in, and you're going to give somebody else a chance. That's just the way this league works.
On the side of what the Colts present to the Titans, too, I said it in the last segment, in the sense that I think you get a Green Bay game plan as far as what the Colts offense may do against this defense. Run the ball, because of what happened against Green Bay, because they also have a running quarterback that's their starter, the same way Malik was when he came here. How do you adjust to that coming into it this week, Coach Mack, without neglecting the back end of the defense?
Well, anytime you've got if you know you're facing an RPO system where the R for the quarterback is really part of it, you got to +1 it.
Okay.
Somehow you got to +1 it, either the second or the third level. And so, it's like playing the option. Option is
hated the option, Coach Mack.
Yeah,
I hated defending it.
I defended the option at OU coming downhill when they put a big mound on the field. And anyway, option football for defenses is assignment football. Mm-hmm. Because you've got to be able to play it from inside out. You always play the option from inside out. And if you get somebody trying to cheat the leverage inside out, then that's when you got a problem. Mm-hmm. Because quarterbacks are taught to read. And they're not only now within RPOs, they're not only reading the edge. Sometimes they won't block the 3 technique. They'll read the 3. And then a lot of times they'll read the backside as to where the throws come in. So it's evolved a lot, but still, option football is assignment football. Mm-hmm. You can't just be flying around unless you're just going to bring everything and try to blow up the mesh point.
Then you expose
if you blow up the mesh point and then you overlap with your second or your third level, that's something that you can do every now and then. But you've got to be able to play assignment football if you're going to play the RPO.
Watch this. Kind of like what Vandy did to Alabama, huh, Coach Mack?
Not kind of like
exactly
they did.
Exactly like
right?
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, exactly like it, which was it was a lot of fun to watch. It really was, because what happens is you get defenses chasing plays, and they chase the last play, and then you always hear me talking about getting your opponents on their left foot. So and that's what happened to Alabama. They were on their left foot, and Diego Pavia, who's now the chancellor of Vanderbilt.
Exactly. Gosh, he's been everywhere, right?
Well, and he should be.
Yeah, it's
and he
great.
should be. That was incredible. I mean, it really was. But it was option football, and plus you got to have a quarterback that is first of all is very, very precise as to when how he works it.
Yep.
And then you have to have a quarterback that's pretty fearless.
And they got it.
Well, they got it. I mean, I was all for him. I mean, that's Diego Pavia for chancellor.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's taking over the world right now. Hopefully he can get it done against Kentucky this weekend, Coach. When you talk about physicality, though, you always talk about pretty much a physical front for the Colts defense. And I know Kwity Paye is questionable, but behind him,
a quad.
Yeah, behind him is Leatu Latu. And he is somebody who can not be underestimated. What do you see from him?
Well, I thought he was the best pure pass rusher in this draft coming out, because here's what he had. And of course, we know he retired medically for 2 years with the neck issue.
At Washington, right?
Yeah, once he had, and then he went to UCLA. And but just going off of watching tape and then seeing him at the Senior Bowl, he was the guy that had the most compact and the most thoughtful second move in all of his rushes. He's not just a one-trick pony. And this is a very, very accomplished pass rusher. And the more that he's out there, I mean, he's already been very productive just filling in, for Kwity Paye. And so Oda Bengal on the other side is a dude too. Yeah. So the edges, you better take care of the edges, because Latu, I really like Latu in this draft. I mean, I did, and I thought that was a really, really good pick by them. But he's a good solid player, and he's going to give whichever he's going to line up on J.C. Latham.
Oh yeah,
and which he's going to have a plan for him. So it's not just stopping one move with him. And he brings that with a background.
Sure.
All you got to do is just watch him. You see that there are calculated double moves with this dude.
This defense for the Colts, however, is giving up 157 yards on the ground, averaging. And obviously that's a thing that the Titans can try to exploit with their run game.
They have to.
Do you see more balance, Coach, with this, or you kind of go with who's hot in this one, whether it be Tony or
They do
Tajay?
just what you did against Miami.
Yeah.
You do just what you did against Miami. And hope don't get a holding call. That call, because you got to get this run game going against these people. For two reasons. I mean, you've got to get you can't let this. We just talked about the group that they have, because I think they're the two of their linebackers behind the ball, E.J. Speed and Zaire Franklin, are as good as they are in the league. Yeah. They're as good as they are in the league. So what you've got to be able to have, you got to be able to have something to keep them in a conflict situation, in a 50-50 strut, especially on first and second down. So you got to be able to run the football. You got to do the same thing that you did with Miami. Keep it and progress the chains. That's important. Going to be important against this group. I don't know which quarterback's going to play.
Right.
But whichever quarterback does play can move the football. And they're two pretty polar opposite quarterbacks as far as what they can do. So they can't move the ball if they don't have it. So you need to keep it on offense.
Why do you think, Coach Mack, they've struggled so much stopping the run? Because you think of a team with two linebackers that they have in Speed and Franklin, you would think that could be a strength of this defense.
Well, they've been injured. I mean, they've been injured. Quiddy's been injured. Grover Stewart has struggled with, and Grover Stewart is their center guard triangle wrecker. I mean, he's a wrecker. He's a guy that you gotta, you've got to take care of. And the other thing that happens if you start, I mean, having done this for a minute, if you start giving up some explosive runs in a game, you start getting players at the first and second level trying to overcompensate.
Sure.
And once you start doing that, that's an offensive line's dream. to have people chasing. Ramon's laughing.
His eyes just got big. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. You start getting a defense with the run game chasing the last play, and then you also get the defensive signal caller chasing the last play. Then you've got them.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing better than that, though. There's absolutely nothing better than that.
Well, I mean, you can sense it. I mean, I could sense it when I was calling defenses. You got to do something to get them uncomfortable, because if you start chasing the last play, what happens to all of us, everybody that's called defenses, is you get so mad about what happened, what just gashed you, that you want to go stop that. And guess what? Here comes the counterpunch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On the other side of it, too, Coach Mack, the battle of the young quarterbacks, if Anthony Richardson and Will Levis both go, they both have had turnover issues. And in the case of the Colts, how do you get the ball out of Anthony Richardson's hand and make him toss up and pick for you?
Well, I mean, first of all, you've got to get him in down and distance situations where he has to throw it.
Okay.
That's what you have to do. I mean, if he's coming out there and he's got the chains in his favor on an RPO, he's got you got a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't know whether you're foot or horseback, because then he can throw it. I mean, he can take off running with it, this is as physical, gifted quarterback that's come into the league in a long time. Just physical gifts. That's why he was a first round pick after only playing 13 games, right?
Yep.
At Florida. So anyway, don't let them progress the ball on you.
Getting ahead of the chains.
You got to keep him behind the chains and make him one-dimensional, because if he's one-dimensional, then you've got a chance. But he's throwing at a pretty good clip. He's throwing it at a nice clip. Now, I don't know how much Michael Pittman Jr. not playing is going to hurt him, because that guy, and Mo Alley Cox. We haven't mentioned the tight end, but Mo Alley Cox is starting to show up. In the past, Mo Alley Cox has been a guy in the red zone, and now he's starting to show up out in the field.
Yeah.
So
certainly.
Growth.
Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford, Thursday mornings. All right, this is your disclaimer to head of the 104.5 The Zone app if you are watching on Zone TV, to once again hear the musical intro from Robert Walsh. It's the fact that he's offbeat is what makes this good for me.
Yes!
We're never hearing the real version of this song ever again on this show.
No.
Wow.
It's the
When he gets offbeat here is the best part.
It's so offbeat.
That's the ad libs. Coach Dave McGinnis, Thursday mornings here on the show.
Send that to my phone.
Yes.
I want that as my ringtone.
Yes.
That's my ringtone.
That
Bert.
is going to be all of our ringtones when Coach Matt calls us now or sends us his Bitmoji to say happy
Incredible.
birthday or
Your
Merry Christmas or
Bitmoji.
stuff.
That's my ringtone. See you, Bert.
Robert Walsh, ladies and gentlemen.
Very nice.
this
Very
man.
nice.
5 stars.
Cannot believe it. Easy 5 stars.
Yeah.
Definitely round
Best
of
new
applause.
artist.
Give him a record deal.
Single of the year. Robert Walsh
Single
coming
of the
soon. There's
year.
Coach Mack this morning. More headlines for you. The Preds are back. Talk a little puck coming up next on RKW.
What's going on, guys? Bert and Ramon here to talk to you about the original hot chicken. That's Prince's Hot Chicken. And if you guys don't have anything going on every Thursday night, that's tonight at Tanger Allen in the Nolensville Pike locations. They got live music, karaoke, special DJs, 6 to 9, Ramon.
They do, and on top of that, man, holiday catering is right around the corner. Go ahead and start planning for that. Go to princesshotchicken.com right now to go ahead and set that up. Whether it's 15 people or over 1,000, they can set you up from, the hot chicken, or they have vegan options available for you too. And Bert, we cannot forget about the fixins.
All them fixings.
Yes, indeed. Head to princesshotchicken.com to hit the original hot chicken for your holiday parties.
RKW, Ramon, Kayla, and Will wraps up the first half of the show this morning. In the studio, Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling. Going to catch up with Sean Henry, the Nashville Predators, at 9 o'clock this morning. Talk a little bit of hockey today, but they are back tonight. And Kayla, there are as high of expectations for the Nashville Predators this season than there have been in Nashville in quite some time.
Yeah, and there need to be high expectation. There needs to be because of some of the names that they added, in the offseason. Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, Brady Shea. These are all guys who have had experience with playoff teams and some that have won the cup. And so I think that's the big addition where everybody's excited for that. And then on top of it, I know right now UC Saros is questionable for this game in particular with a lower body injury, but I think with his new contract, you're expecting him to be great in between the pipes, Will. And this is something I think this month they really want to get off to a good start. They only won 5 of 11 in last October in that month, and I know they'd like to get off to a better start. Also, what I think they'd like to see, guys, they lost every home playoff game last season in that series against Vancouver. The home team needs to give the home fans a win starting tonight at Bridgestone.
That was that trend, wasn't it, this past year? Sure was. Thought they could steal a couple off, take a couple at home, and did not. Yeah, 100%.
I love it. So we'll see. It is certainly a team that, talking to Philip Forsberg this week, that seems to be the big MO for them to start the year, is start way faster than you did last year. Yeah. And you always have that CMA Fest, or the CMA Awards road trip that you have so early in the season as well when you're gone for a week. Mm-hmm. Always makes things a little bit more challenging at the beginning of the year. But interested to see what the identity of this team is and watching the power play continue to evolve over this first couple of weeks. I mean, they've only had, as Philip Forsberg told us this week, one game to really totally stress test it in a game setting in preseason with Steven Stamkos will be such a big addition to that power play, and O'Reilly and Forsberg and that whole group. So I think that's the biggest question I have is how quickly can the power play meet its ceiling or meet its potential? Kind of like a football comparison, an offensive line that takes weeks through the beginning of the season to kind of gel and figure it out in game settings. That's what this power play is going to have to do to start the year.
And that's something they've tried to get right for several years. I even go back to, when some of the older Peter Laviolette, when some of these guys were here and they just were trying to figure out, you guys, it became a thing all year, as if you maybe couldn't get in the end zone, right? It's
like
one of those things. That's exactly what it is.
Special teams, yeah.
And it's like you try, and sometimes I think it overtook this team. And clearly this is a brand new roster for the most part and new coaching staff, but it still seems to kind of plague them. So that is definitely something you got to try to find early on and then build on it and not let it go through these slumps where you're not seeing the power play for 2 months. Like you've got to have a good special teams, unit if you're going to be successful too.
Maybe the shakeup is what they needed this last offseason. I mean, the end of the last season.
Starting with Dallas, not easy either.
They're good.
As good as Dallas is.
Mm-hmm.
Are they?
Yeah.
Dallas usually is?
They've kind of been a thorn.
In Texas. Imagine that.
Right? They've been a thorn in the Preds side.
Nashville too.
Wow. Yes, that's true,
yeah.
too. Would you say been a little bit of a thorn?
A little bit of a thorn in the Preds side, I would say, when they play. And it's always a very physical game with them. They don't like each other at all. So it will be entertaining tonight at the least, but hopefully they can have UC Saros in between the pipes. If not, you're going to see, some of the guys that they have right now. They just brought up Matt Murray, I think, too, from Milwaukee.
From Milwaukee.
You're big Vegas fans, right?
Huge.
Big Vegas fan. What are you talking about? The Golden Knights?
Big Golden Knights.
It's the team that I irrationally hate in sports.
And Marchessault is over here now, who was with Vegas.
Yeah. I just needed to hear that real quick from Will.
Vegas.
Yeah.
I hate the Las Vegas Golden Knights and Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
Can't stand them both.
Either one.
I'll agree with you on Vegas, but I like Bedard.
Yeah, either one of them.
Chicago just gets to handpick the best player of a generation just because they're Chicago.
They're that bad.
It's great. No, it will be interesting because I think there is something to be said for a team that it is really set up for success. You look at the draft capital that Barry Trotz has to use, and this season could go one or two ways of the Preds. They meet expectations, and all of a sudden you already have enough draft capital in your back pocket and all the picks that they have accumulated over the past couple of years to make moves at the trade deadline. And I know trade deadline is very far away. It's day one of the season, but that's the exciting part of the season is you got options. If things meet expectations, you can buy and you can really go for it this year. But if you don't meet expectations and for whatever reason you feel like this thing with a lot of aging stars and Stamkos and Marchessault and maybe they don't live up to the hype, we've also got a lot of capital in your back pocket to say, all right, well, we don't necessarily have to sell, but we're still set up for the future while still going for it in the 2024 and 2025 season. It's a great and rare position to be in where you are still rebuilding, but you have enough premium talent that's just older that could get hot and lead you to a postseason run.
Yeah, Barry Trotz, I think, knows what he's doing. I mean, you can say whatever you want about him, but he's been aggressive. He's the one that pretty much made the decision when they were going to go, see U2 in the Sphere, and they got hammered by Dallas. I mean, they got embarrassed by Dallas. And Barry Trotz said, no, y'all aren't going to the concert. And he told some grown men that. Yeah. And what did they do after that? They won like 15 straight. I mean, and that's when they got hot this last year, this last season. But hopefully you don't need something like that this year with some of those guys you've added. Because I think people who are true Preds fans, they know, like, we've got to get past this first round of the playoffs. That has been an issue for them. The first round is not enough for this organization. They want to continue to get deeper into the playoffs, but you got to be somewhat steady throughout the season. Sometimes those hot runs don't last or they fizzle out.
Yep, that's very true.
Ryan O'Reilly's saying this week the goal is to win the cup.
Yeah,
they're not shying away from it.
Why not say that?
Absolutely. Did you guys notice that hell froze over last night because the New York Mets are in the NLCS?
Oh yeah, I know.
I saw that. That was fun for them.
I want to congratulate the Philadelphia Phillies for falling victim to what the best team in the NL East has fallen victim to the last couple of years. Phillies, who very famously got offended last year when Brian Snitker, the Braves manager, suggested that the 5-day layoff for division winners is a disadvantage. Like, they felt like. Ken Rosenthal reported last year, the Phillies felt slighted by that. Well, is it just me or have these tables turned, Philadelphia? So, Mets, you've done your job now. Thank you so much. Congratulations to Grimace. You can now bow out and go back to being yourselves. You can now be the Mets now that you've vanquished the big bad Phillies and whoever wins out of the NL West.
I'm telling you, this is interesting. I mean, I know Teron Davenport is a happy camper right now. He's a lot of Mets fans. He's a big Mets fan, but Francisco Lindor, man, he's coming up huge for this team.
Shout out to him
man.
with a grand slam
awesome.
last night, man.
I really like him a lot, man.
He's a great dude too.
Yeah, that grand slam that he hit too, didn't bat flip it, didn't celebrate it, and you're welcome to. But like. You can tell he's been there before, and that's why the Mets are still playing.
Yeah. And he because of Francisco Lindor. They've been snake bitten as a franchise too, right? As far as not being able to get over the hump, the allegations of their medical staff and everything like that. Like finally got something good for themselves, and they spent a lot of money. Remember last year, Edwin Spillman? Well, not Edwin Spillman. Golly, the pitcher,
Edwin Diaz.
Yep.
Who nearly choked last night too.
I mean, come on,
Adam Amin, by the way, crushed the broadcast of that game. I love that crew. He hit that grand slam. Lindor did. Adam Amin said that ball is gone and did not say another word until the first pitch of the next at bat, which is exactly how you handle a moment like that. Bob Costas, take notes.
I don't know. I got this weird feeling about the Mets, y'all.
What you mean?
I think this might
Never
be their
underestimate.
year.
No, you got to say it now.
I just did. I said it might be their year.
Finish it.
To win the
what else do you want to say?
World Series.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to hear it.
Never underestimate the Mets' ability to be the Mets.
There was a song that I got a feeling, and I need to hear you say what the feeling. Okay,
no, we don't need
what it was.
We don't need. We're good. 615-737-1045. Way too much Mets love happening this morning.
Sally's so happy
here on the program. I gave you your credit. Now please lose to the Padres because the Dodgers will choke too. 615-737-1045. Titans injury updates for you coming up. Hey, it's Will Bowling. We are hanging out this Sunday again before Titans and Colts. 9:30 for the Titan Up tailgate. Gray and Dudley at the Bankers Alley Hotel. Guys, this is the perfect spot to park and then walk over the bridge to head to Nissan Stadium to see the Titans beat the Colts. And the best part is the traffic on the way out when you park at 221 2nd Avenue North, it's non-existent. Easiest place to get out of downtown after a Titans game. Plus the food beforehand, our tailgate. We're going to get you well fed beforehand as well. The smash burgers, the brats, the mac and cheese, the beers. We got everything that you need. You get a burger, a beer, and a parking spot for $40. All of those together, $40. Burger, beer, park. That's 221 2nd Avenue North. Gray and Dudley at the Bankers Alley Hotel. Come and see us 9:30 before Titans and Colts at 221 2nd Avenue North.
What's going on? 8:02. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I am Robert Walsh. Titans with some roster moves yesterday, adding tackle Leroy Watson to the active roster, also adding veteran quarterback Trevor Siemian to the practice squad. When Brian Callahan was asked about whether this had to do anything to do with Will Levis's availability, he had this to say.
We also signed Trevor Siemian today, currently to the practice squad, just to have another veteran quarterback, just have some learn this week and have some familiarity. So if we needed him for the emergency third on game day, we could potentially use him. So just with a quarterback dealing with an injury, it was the smart thing for us to do as an insurance policy to have Trevor come in and get some familiarity with our offense.
Titans Colts first injury report of the week is out. Jeffrey Simmons was limited coming out of the bye with his elbow injury. Will Levis, though, was a full participant. The Colts currently the walking wounded. The latest being wide receivers Michael Pittman and Josh Downs. Pittman a candidate to be added to injured reserve with an injury he sustained last week, and Josh Downs being out after suffering a toe injury. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show in hour number 3 getting started as the show goes on at 8 a.m. in Nashville, Tennessee. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, RKW. With the musical stylings of Robert Walsh making the show happen. Coming up in 15 minutes, former Gator and former Titan Ben Troupe will join the show. Talk a little bit of Tennessee, Florida, a little bit of Titans football, and see how willing he is to trash talk Ramon about Tennessee, Florida this weekend.
Man. He will be, because I sent him a text message, hey, you want to come on the show? Florida Hate Week. He said, you know it.
Being a trooper.
That's all he had to say.
Yeah.
It's just ready to go, man. And I'm here for it. He's prime. And I've been watching his tweets and
There you go.
all the stuff he's been having to say about Florida. He's optimistic as heck.
I will say, this is not confirmed yet. Maybe I'm jumping the gun on this being official. But if you called into our show on Monday, there is a chance you will be featured on Big Noon Kickoff. We have been working behind the scenes. The magic PR fairies have descended upon our radio program and have asked us to send them some calls on Tennessee for Monday's show for a Big Noon Kickoff segment. So who's to say? This show has graced Amazon Prime and Prime Video for Thursday Night Football. Now it is making its potential national TV debut in the college ranks.
Let's go.
You
Who's
could
to say?
be on national TV.
Who's to say?
If it matters to you, it matters to a lot of people.
That's right.
I'm here for it.
Many
Go
of our
Vols.
regulars who called in on Monday may or not be featured. So, unfortunately, many of you were very stressed about the Vols when you called in. But
Yeah, BVS pops up every once in a while.
That's all right.
Somebody tell me yesterday, it's like, yeah, you guys have me feeling good about my BVS, and now I'm already reset. It's like, well, here, take a Viking, and you'll be all right on Monday.
a Vulcaden.
A Vulcan.
A Vulcan, there you go.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He's got other duties, man.
Can't folk down the street got food, Bert. They just offered it up, okay? We were
No.
smelling the peppers and onions.
Who
down
did?
there.
Who offered what up?
Our girl
you
Crystal
think?
did.
Where's it
92
at?
Cute. You know where it's at. Go find it.
All right,
Too
goodbye.
Yeah, bring some for all of us.
It was, but yeah, that BVS pops up every once in a while, man. So even I had a little touch of it this past week.
Did
but
you?
I'm better now.
Okay.
I'm better now. I'm
Good.
past it.
You're recovering.
Healed up.
Because I continually say that the team is just better. It should be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it now as a coaching issue as far as getting the most out of guys. It's one thing the elite ones do is you can take it and just run with it. And that's what we need here soon. This
First
upcoming
step is
weekend.
admitting you have a problem. Yesterday at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, Titans back at the practice field. Jamal Adams, a non-participant with a hip. Traylon Burks, personal, did not practice. I'm told that is him and his wife expecting their first child.
They did, yeah.
There you go.
So she had a baby.
Congratulations to the Burks family. Keandre Coburn with a knee did not practice. DeAndre Hopkins rest day was limited Same for L'Jarius Sneed. And good to see Cedric Gray back out there as a full participant as he works his way back from that nerve issue and a shoulder. Ernest Jones listed with an elbow. He was a full participant. And Will Levis, full participant at practice. If he's a full participant today, again, then he's playing Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
As long as he doesn't get downgraded and doesn't recover well from a full day of practice yesterday. That's your starting quarterback Sunday against the Colts.
Yeah, like you said, unless there's some sort of, and there is always that, day after, practice after, what is it like? How does it respond? We won't see that till today, and there is going to be practice open for a small amount of time. But you're right. I don't think in any way, if he was a full practice today, they're set to start him then on Sunday. I mean, Anthony Richardson was even limited yesterday. Yeah. And I know they kind of plan on starting him too. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I think Will Levis is probably a go.
Anthony Richardson even said in his comments he didn't know he'd be able to do all he did in practice. So Levis is the type, if he's practicing in general, he's going. I was shocked that he did not go back in the Miami game. Just on the basis that he was able to throw the ball. He was moving around. He still had his shoulder pads on, and I'm sure there was some kind of medical assistance that he had to alleviate the pain. But, again, 2 weeks of rest, essentially, and it's a division game at home. I'm there if I'm him. I'd be shocked. It's not like he's an old man at this point. I'd be shocked if he's not in.
It's interesting because he actually had a right sprain it got worked on his opposite arm before, on his left shoulder. He's had this before. He showed like the scar and everything. It's clearly not that serious, and we got that clarified. But that guy is tough. Like, he's been through a lot of things, and he will play through it. But the fact is you can play through it, but you can't use that as an excuse though if you're making mistakes in the game, and hopefully that won't be the case. My
question on a tough thing is, when does it become cool? When does it become cool for a quarterback to be tough though? Not in the sense that it's not a good character trait to have, but like Favre, tough. Roethlisberger, tough. Who's another?
Steve McNair,
tough.
Uber tough.
Right, tough. Like, when does that become a thing? After success or from the get-go?
Well, I think the follow-up to that would be, when does toughness start to hurt you? Can you be too tough as a quarterback?
Yeah.
Right.
There's also that side.
Because it's one thing to take hits and pop back up every time and be able to still play. Like that to me is the positive amount of toughness you need at that position. But when you talk about rewiring your brain to not take hits and not take risks, that's a different kind of toughness.
And all those QBs had success, and that was tied to them, right? The toughness, it's almost like it was just that attribute that you couldn't say, oh, well, don't be tough, because they were successful.
Yeah.
And so they could do that.
While going to the ground.
Right, but Will hasn't proven the success yet, part of it. But we know he's tough.
It's taking that's taking the front passenger seat to all things that's going on is his toughness. And I'm just like, all right, well, when does that become a thing to where it's just more than just being tough? Like, it has to match the legend too. Like, the legend of Favre is he delivered in those moments, right? Yeah. Or McNair, like, his toughness, being able to drag his leg out there to finish out plays, and it was successful. Like, we need the success part of his story to be a part of this toughness too.
After the bye week, feels like there's a chance for the Titans to adjust, self-scout, figure out what they can do a bit differently on offense. What's the biggest thing you want to see from this passing game moving forward starting this week?
No turnovers first. Like, it has to start there. And not just being no turnover side of it, but like being efficient from hitting the sideline, going down the middle. As Coach Mack came in here in that last hour and explained to us, like, putting the defense on his heels. All right, you can run the quick screen and get your wide receivers down the sideline, but I also want to be able to see you hit the slant. I want to be able to see you hit the comeback and be able to move the chains. When Mason came in this past weekend, it simply did the little small things in the pass game. All right, do a dump off for a first down. Move the chains. If it's 3rd and 7, like, 12-yard route come in, hey, first down. That's what I need, like, this week. Like, I understand the how pretty the deep ball is, but if it ain't working, don't continue to go to it and get us off the field and put the defense behind the 8 ball. Like, that's why I want to see the passing game be this week coming off of that bye. Where efficiently have you decided this is our box of plays?
Sure.
And this is what we're going to run in the passing game. Because right now, all I feel like it is deep passes or deep overs. And that's been problematic for the squad or the sideline.
Yeah, finding any type of consistency, right? And for me, and this got brought up yesterday, I don't know who asked the question in the Brian Callahan presser, but, Calvin Ridley, for me, needs to be more involved. He needs to be more involved on a consistent basis. And Brian Callahan said, he actually talked with him yesterday in meetings and said to Calvin Ridley, hey, I need to get you the ball more. We've heard this a lot that Brian Callahan has said about DeAndre Hopkins. But I do feel like Will Levis and him have to continue to try to get on the same page. They paid him a lot of money to come here. We were really hyped up about that man. And they've got to figure this out. It'll benefit both of them and this offense.
Yeah, Levis this year only 2 of 10 on passes 20-plus yards. Both of those throws were touchdowns that were completed, but I think there's an opportunity with as bad as the Colts are at stopping the run where you can establish the run and hit them deep.
Yep.
In the play-action passing game. I think you might see a call back to the 2022 and 2023 Titans with the game plan on Sunday because I don't think the Colts can stop the run.
I don't think they can either.
Deep play action, I think, is going to be there.
I'm hesitant.
Would love to see them hit.
Say they can't stop it because in the division game.
I didn't say they can't.
Yeah. I thought you did say you can't.
I guess up to this point, they haven't shown success.
I don't think they can stop the run based on what they've shown us this year. 157 yards per game on the ground is significant.
I'm hesitant on that one.
Why?
It's because when they're playing against the Titans, they always rise up against the Titans. Last year, going up there, I did not expect them to do what they did to them.
I think that was last year, though. Before that, the Titans kind of had the Colts number. It's kind of on the other end.
I'm here for it. I'm with you. I hope they can't stop it, but I need to see this team prove that it can actually move the ball efficiently too.
Coming up, former Gator and former Titan Ben Troupe. We'll talk Tennessee, Florida. We'll talk Titans, Colts, and hit it all with Ben coming up next. You deserve all the comforts of home, including endless hot water at your fingertips. What's going on? It's Will Bowling. Tankless water heaters powered by new recirculation systems save energy, money, time, and space. Lee Company has a limited time offer of $750 off a tankless water heater when you purchase a new recirculation system. It'll make the heater even sweeter. Qualified buyers receive 18 months of 0% financing. Take advantage of this offer today. Call my friends over at Lee Company at 615-567-1000 or go to leecompany.com/promotions to get $750 off a tankless water heater. Lee Company has 14 community locations in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Alabama. Over 950 vehicles in their fleet, the vans, the trucks, all of it. That means when you call them, they're open 24/7 and they are there ready to help you whenever you need them. The phone number again, 615-567-1000. Head to leecompany.com/promotions to get $750 off the price of a tankless water heater. That's Lee Company, all you need. RKW, Ramon, Kayla, and Will continues here in Hour 3. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling. Joined by both the good guy and the bad guy this week. Former Florida Gator tight end, former Tennessee Titan tight end, Ben Troupe joining us. Ramon Foster has declared it Florida Hate Week.
Hey.
Ben Troupe, what's going on? Good morning.
Listen, I appreciate you guys having me. Ramon know good and well. He can hate us, but he know in the back of his mind he love us because I think I brought him around a little bit, and I was talking to him. I think it was you guys producer. If you guys love me, y'all need to start having me on more than just Tennessee Hate Week, man. I mean, my goodness, I get it. I'm one of the good guys now. I'm in the media now, but hey, man, it's always a pleasure being on with y'all.
I love it.
You know what, man? And what's crazy is it used to be a bad thing for athletes to be in the media. And Ben is like, no, I want more of this, okay? And I'm here for it, though, just so you know.
We the good guys, Ramon. I think at the end of the day, Ramon, you don't even know this. The first time I met you, but you didn't know I was looking at you you were at the draft in 2019 in Nashville. I'm looking at I know this dude, but I ain't finna, listen, the one thing I'm not going to do is call nobody the wrong name. I'm definitely not going to call you the wrong name. I'm not going to call, I ain't want no problem, but I'm looking right at you. I'm doing the draft. I know who this dude is, but I'm not going to call him the wrong name. I'm happy that we met on these circumstances.
Man, that's awesome. That was one of my first real exposures, like being like a little small J journalist, man. Sports entertainer is what I was in that moment because I was nervous as heck. Do you hear me? On that red carpet.
Hey, I wasn't even invited to the red carpet, but somebody let me through. I mean, the guy didn't really know what he was doing. He let me through. I'm looking at Kyler Murray and Daniel Jones and all guys. He was taking everybody's ticket. He like, look at me, I'll put mine in my back pocket. Go ahead, sir. Come on through. I don't want no problem. He just let me through. Had some fun in Nashville that day.
Hey, all you got to do sometimes is act like you belong. I promise you. Usually they don't ask questions after that, Troupe.
Well, the best thing to do is call somebody's name who's already over there. I could have been like, Ramon, and you just waved me over. I could see I had to go to the bathroom, man.
And I'd have just, he good. Come on.
I love it.
He good.
Family. That's right.
Family.
That's right. Ben Troupe, former Titan, former Gator with us this morning under Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Ben, let's start with Tennessee, Florida. From the Gators' perspective, obviously the win over UCF, the first half significantly better than the starts that Florida got off to in SEC play, and specifically in that A&M game where they just didn't get off to a good start at all. What is Florida's pathway to victory in this game? How can they come into Neyland and pull off the upset?
They're gonna have to find a way to play 4 quarters of good football. I don't think a good first half against Tennessee is gonna be good enough. I think that crowd is gonna be against them, and I think for this offense they got to play with a lot of rhythm. I know you're gonna get 2 key guys back, at the receiver position, but I think when you think about what Florida's gonna have to do, they're gonna have to decide who they are. On Saturday night because they haven't really been consistent. I'm not judging a Tennessee team that's coming off a loss versus a Florida team coming off a win against UCF. I think that Florida's going to have to look in the mirror and decide, hey, either we can go blow for blow with this offense or it's going to be a blowout because I don't think they're going to have the in-between come Saturday night.
How much does Eugene Wilson, Cam Mizell, the wide receivers getting healthier, Ben? It feels like that is a strength for this Gators team. How much can they win against Tennessee's defensive backs and Eugene Wilson specifically? How does he change this offense?
I think Graham Mertz is going to have to summon his inner DJ Lagway and push the ball down the field because the difference in the 2 quarterbacks for Florida is one is so young that he's going to push the ball down the field. Graham Mertz is going to take care of the football, but horizontal passes are not going to help you against this Tennessee team, the Tennessee ball defense. If they take chances to push the ball down the field and be willing to make mistakes to make big plays, I think it's going to keep them in the game. If you try to play conservative with what just happened against Tennessee, on Saturday night, it's going to be a long day for my Gators.
Ben Troupe with us this morning is talking Vols and Gators and Titans and all things in between. Troupe, man, when it comes to Florida's start to the season, how would you categorize that, man? Because it was low, it was embarrassing, and now your coach is still in a position to where he's fine with a win, right? And I saw the comments that everybody said that he's in good spirits and stuff, but what do you say about the start and where Napier is at right now?
It was awful. I mean, because the thing about it is, with it being the start of the season, everybody was talking about what was going on in Gainesville or lack thereof. Cam Ward and Miami had proven to be, better than advertised, still being undefeated. But I think the thing about Coach Billy Napier is the hardest thing to build is the culture, and the culture can only be cultivated on the field. It did not happen against Miami. Yes, he's had some bounce back wins, but I look at football like boxing. It's not how many fights you had; it's who you fought. If you ain't beat people that's good enough to beat you, and you beat people that you were superior than, people appreciate it. But people gonna always go back to, hey man, how did you look against Miami? Texas A&M was probably even more embarrassing than Miami because you're talking about a team in the SEC. They're gonna have to find a way for Florida to figure out who they are. They're not. The bye week is already come and gone. Georgia's already lost. Tennessee's coming off a loss, and all these guys are coming up for Florida. They're gonna have to figure out who they are. Or Billy Napier, he's gonna be finding himself, dealing with that buyout because I don't think he's gonna survive a mediocre season, even though that schedule is not favoring.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'll take a buyout right now, though, Troupe. I'll take one right doggone now.
Hey, man, 26, listen, Ramon, once again, people say you should have played quarterback, didn't play quarterback. Hey, man, you should have been an outside linebacker defensive end. I should have been a head coach. Why? Because only in football and college coaching, they pay you to leave. I mean, that's the only. I mean, the wife is gonna be mad at us, Rudy. We got to move, but that check is gonna clear. I'm telling you right now, we're gonna be straight.
I mean, they're saying Salah's making over $55,000 a day to leave New York. I'd leave New York too. You hear me?
I mean, you know how hard it is to try to fake cry at a press conference that I just got fired when I'm finna get, 30 million? Stop. C-Line. Number one, he's going to still find his way coaching in the National Football League. Might not be a head coach. The worse you become as a head coach is a coordinator. Yeah. And they still make a big bucks, so he's going to get paid by two teams. And let's face it, C-Line want to be a head coach. He did not want to coach the Jets because guess what? Because Sam Darnold told Aaron Rodgers overseas, I thought I was the problem. Everybody thought it was me, right? And then you over there, man, y'all still losing. I'm undefeated. Y'all losing and with the Jets. The Mets just made it to the NLCS. What in the world is going on in sports these days?
Oh, my gosh. I have no idea. Troupe, on this rivalry weekend, too, you look at this Vols team and this Gators team, like what's the best place to be at for either one of them? Is Florida getting some momentum with the UCF win or Tennessee coming off with the loss? Like as a player, what's your mentality if you're on either side of this thing right now?
I think Tennessee coming off a loss because the manner in which they lost. I mean, the thing about Nico, he's an incredible player. He just had a bonehead play. I know he wished he could have that play back. I think it makes Florida anxious. I think it makes Tennessee ready because the thing about Tennessee is Nico. Obviously, he was him being a redshirt freshman. He knows what Florida Tennessee is, regardless of the records, regardless of what's going on. And I just think for Florida, what they have to understand is these quarterbacks coming through Tennessee. I mean, you got Hendon Hooker. I mean, you got Joe Milton. Now you got Nico. Nico, I think, is built for what Tennessee wants to do. They don't need to watch the tape of Arkansas because that was on the road. And I don't think it's going to be he's going to have to worry about the crowd noise. They better find a way to have that offense ready to go. They better look like Tennessee on offense this weekend because, like I said, that was uncharacteristic of the Vols this weekend. And it's going to be a great game for me, regardless of what happens, because I think hopefully Tennessee will bring out the best in Florida. I hope Florida brings out the best in Tennessee, and I hope it's a fourth quarter game. If it is down to the wire, I'm definitely gonna have to turn my TV off. Cannot watch it because it's gonna be rough on me. But I'm looking forward to it either way.
No doubt.
Ben Troupe, bringing the energy as always in the good info this morning. We're talking Tennessee and Florida this weekend. Ben, when it comes to the Gators defense, what maybe gave you hope after some adjustments in the bye week and what they were able to do this past weekend?
The pass rush came alive. I think hearing so much about this defensive line having so much depth, off season, I was waiting to see it. And I hate that, yes, KJ Jefferson comes over from Arkansas to UCF. He's obviously beat my Gators a year ago when they wanted to sport the all-black jerseys. But I think the thing about the Florida defense is they're finding a way to get off the field. The hardest thing for Florida is they give up third and long. They can't get off the field on 3rd and 1. They still got to work on the tackling. And I think for this week, as much as I love what happened with the D-line, they better have D-line play and DB play. Those DBs are going to get tried this week one-on-one, maybe in some zone coverage. I'm going to see how well or how not well our DBs have shown some growth because Marshall and company, they definitely going to have to deal with that air attack coming from the Vols.
Ben, do you feel like if Billy Napier can pull out this win against Tennessee, and we look at last year and maybe how it saved his job, do you have any hope that if that happens, they would keep him?
They'll keep him for another week. Yeah,
right?
Because the thing about it is Georgia's still coming. LSU is still coming. Ole Miss is still coming. And I think what's going to hurt Billy Napier the most is just say he ends up beating, God forbid, a Texas on the road. He looks, he looks up to up to par, in Jacksonville against Georgia. At the end of the year, if Florida does not beat Florida State, Billy Napier is gone. I don't care what he's done because of what Florida State has done. And that's the thing about Billy Napier and his schedule. It's not favoring because who nobody's talking about is how is he going to look against Kentucky? He better not be looking down the road because, like I say, they're going to be rocking up there in Tennessee. He better find a way to look good against them boys in that Tennessee Orange because if it doesn't, once again, the only people supporting him is the people that have to, and them Boo Birds, they ready to go. As soon as he look halfway, how he look the start of the season, we'll see what happens. But don't look down the road because Nico and company, they coming this weekend.
Ben Troupe, our guest, former Tennessee Titan, former Florida Gator. Check out his podcast, 84 Reasons, wherever you download podcasts. Ben, shifting gears a little bit, looking at this Titans team with Will Levis likely getting back in there this Sunday against the Colts. How discouraged have you been with his performance to start the season? How worried are you about Levis so far this year?
I'm extremely worried because he's not getting better week by week. I mean, unfortunately for him, I do think the offense is going to be built for him. I mean, you add another weapon and Ridley. I mean, obviously you got D-Hop and, you got the running game. But the thing about Will Levis is that I don't get is he's making the same mistakes week in and week out. What he did week one, I've never seen it. I don't want to see it. Then he come back and do something week two. What hurts Will Levis is the same thing that's hurting Anthony Richards out there with the Colts. Joe Flacco plays the quarterback position better than him. Mason Rudolph plays the quarterback position better than Will Levis. Will Levis is who they want, but you cannot make him in your mind what you want him to be on the field. We'll see what happens. But if Joe Flacco plays on Sunday and he outplays Will Levis, that's going to look bad for Rand Carthon and company. And I think Mason Rudolph's going to be getting more. He's going to get more playing time moving forward.
So, Ben, when you look at Levis and Rudolph, then how long do you give Will Levis if these mistakes continue before you pull the plug and throw in Mason Rudolph?
I mean, we'll evaluate the first half because the thing about Will Levis is he'll make a play to make you go crazy, and then he'll do something that no quarterback should do. I'm talking about at any level of football, and it's a head scratcher with Will Levis because he has the ability, but it doesn't show it. Football is to update your resume every single Sunday type league. You got to update it. And people had turned the page on Mason Rudolph. He comes in and wins the game. So we'll see. It's good to have a good a backup in Mason Rudolph. But if they play Will Levis and he continues to play bad, that just means that they don't have faith in Mason Rudolph. Which he's going out there and got to win. We'll see what happens this weekend because I think with the Colts, they're a beatable team. But if Will Levis is playing the way he's been playing, it can get ugly.
Ben Troupe with us this morning. Ben, so when it comes down to making that decision, man, and we've had the conversation, how long do you let it go? You've been around locker rooms, pro and college, man. Can you just be transparent that at some point in time, the defense is going to feel a certain type of way if it's the same old story? How does that go, and how much of that tension does everybody inside the locker room feel, too?
I mean, the perception of something, Ramon, is not the reality. And forget the defense for a second. What type of confidence are you putting in the rest of your offense when you bringing out the same guy who they blocking for him check, they running the football check, but they don't throw the ball. They don't make those decisions. They don't do those check downs. Listen, the eye in the sky don't lie. Will Levis could be the best teammate there is. He might not just be good for this offense right now, and if you keep on playing him, that's saying that the rest of us aren't good enough because you're putting a guy out there who's making us look very, very, very average right now. Calvin Ridley is not looking like the player they thought he was going to be coming over from Jacksonville. D-Hop, he'll make plays now and again. That could be because of the quarterback play. So it ain't personal. In college, it could be personal. In high school, it could be personal. I am paying you to play football. If you ain't getting it done, I got to go to the next man.
Ben Troupe joining us this morning. We're talking a little Titans with him, former Titan. Ben, are you interested in this storyline too? I think it's fascinating that you've got two teams that have really young quarterbacks who are kind of being pushed by the fan base to go with the backup. Have you seen anything like that when two teams are matching up? It's just kind of a bizarre storyline.
It is, but I think the thing about it is when it comes to Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, right? People looking at ability, potential. Well, every player in the NFL has that. How does he play when he's out there? When Anthony Richardson got drafted, I said you need to be stupid when they call on you to be stupid. You can't do it. Every single play. Will Levis, The same way people kept asking, this dude was potentially a top 5 pick. How did he go in the second round? Well, when you get into these games, these defenses, they're going to expose your weaknesses. And if your weaknesses can become a strength, you got a shot to be really, really good. It's not these players' fault. It's just we expect them to be something they're not, because there's a trend in the National Football League now. You get drafted high, you're going to play early. Well, look, how did that work out for Bryce Young? You know, how is that working out for some of these other quarterbacks in the National Football League? The only quarterbacks that play early, that play well, have a team around them. Ben Roethlisberger got drafted in 2004 with me. He was on the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's why he was good, because they had Jerome Bettis. They had a defense. If you're expecting this quarterback to take you to places you've never been, and he's a rookie, you are setting him up to fail. If you don't believe me, ask Sam Darnold what happened with the Jets. What's going on with Minnesota? Same player, different team, different results. If they're young, they need to watch how to play. That way, by the time they get in, Aaron Rodgers got to sit, Jordan Love got to sit, Phillip Rivers got to sit. When players get to sit, they get to see what it takes. And with a guy like Will Levis, if you don't believe Malik Willis, what happened when he played for Green Bay? Same player, different team, winning games. I mean, I'm rooting for Will because I have to. But Mason Rudolph proved that he's good enough to go out there and get it done. And Anthony Richardson, like I said, 6'4", 250 pounds, that's great. But when they hit you, they're going to hit you hard, and they're going to hit you often. And he's been dealing with injuries more than we've seen him on the field at this point.
So it sounds like it starts inside, right? Like the teams you mentioned have their draftable dudes, right? You look at Malik's situation. I looked at the roster. It's about 80% drafted Green Bay Packers guys. That starts with the culture. That starts with also the understanding that whoever walks inside this building got to abide by our rules. And that's Packers rules. That's New England rules when they were jumping. Like, is that where you see this team at also, is where you can't pull a Jacksonville Jaguars and just go buy guys?
Yeah, you can't, because it doesn't work. I mean, people be thinking, listen, if I just give these guys some weapons, no, I need a guy. I look at a quarterback jersey at the end of the game. The more green he has on it, that's how many times he's getting hit. The less green he has on it, that means that he's being protected. And the thing about the Titans, don't overthink this thing. Rand Carthon spent a lot of money, and he addressed certain things in the draft. I get it. You want to be able to try to give your quarterback the best possible opportunity. But once I put a team around him, then I can really evaluate him. If I'm saying he got to lead us there, it ain't for so many quarterbacks that you feel good about with the ball in their hand to win the game. And nothing against Will Levis, nothing against Anthony Richards. They aren't those guys right now. And I think the thing about the National Football League, we overthink it. I used to think, you get the best quarterback, you got the best chance to win. Okay, well, what makes him the best quarterback? The team. Teams make quarterbacks, and quarterbacks help those teams win games. If you think the quarterback can make us, Caleb Williams, they say he's going to be the first 4,000-yard passer in Chicago history. Who cares? What does it matter if he throws for 4,000 if you ain't winning games? I want to win games. Ramon, you played for the Steelers, probably the best organization in the National Football League. When you got there, they didn't say, Ramon, go out there and play. They say, hey, Ramon, this is how we do it over here.
Yep.
We know you can do it, and that helps you as a player. And the whole thing about it is players be thinking, culture don't matter. Ask Kansas City that. Ask Baltimore if culture don't matter. If you put the right culture around a player, he accepts the culture, he accepts his position, and he goes out there and plays it. And because if not, it's going to be a lot of what could have been, should have been. We let Derrick Henry go to the Ravens because we didn't want to pay him. What is he doing with the Ravens? What he was doing with the Titans? Balling. He's doing the same thing because he's taking a regimen and a way of doing things with him. I don't understand certain things, Ramon. That's why I'm not a GM. Because if I was, I wouldn't say things the GM say like, listen, football is not hard. Players make it hard. Don't blame a player. I will not blame a coach for what a player controls. If the players believe in the system, believe in the plan, they win games. And if not, they're going to do everything, but point at themselves. Love my Titans. I always love them. But if Mason Rudolph is better, you put him in. Not, well, we want to see what's up with Will. We've seen Will. We've seen Anthony Richardson. And if they got to wait, they got to wait. And if they're young, they'll still have a career. But, hey, man, my Titans, man, we make life so much harder. Kevin Byard, gone. A.J. Brown, gone. Derrick Henry, gone. Why? Because we had to pay him. That's crazy to me. And that's why we in the position that we in. We still ain't played Houston. They got a quarterback. Oh, they got a team. Who's best in the division? Oh, Houston. Jaguars, they pay their quarterback. And what does that mean? Because you paid him. He is what the pay says he is. And hopefully my Titans will find a way to look at the mirror and get ready because people like Jeffrey Simmons, I don't want to waste his ability and having a player like that and him not winning games.
Ben Troupe bringing it as he does every time he joins us here on Ramon, Kalen Will. Check out 84 Reasons, winning the division, no weddings in the fall. He is everywhere. Ben Troupe, wherever you download podcasts. Excellent stuff, Ben. Thank you.
Amazing,
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, man.
Hey, man, listen, it's always a pleasure being on with three of my favorite people. Like I say, at this time in 2025, I ain't talked to y'all until Tennessee week. I'm going to say, Ramon them don't really like me. They don't really like me.
You know that ain't true. You know that hits me in my soul, man.
I love it. Good to hear from you, Ben. Thank you.
Appreciate you,
Thanks,
Ben.
Ben.
Appreciate it.
Good luck
Yes,
this
sir.
weekend.
Ben Troupe with us this morning. We'll react to some of that. We'll take a look at tonight's football. Thursday night football, getting the week started coming up.
Hey, did you know you can use your own body's healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? Hey, it's Kayla Anderson, and I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you are tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something that you definitely need to check out. Everybody is talking about regenerative medicine, and local media professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here are raving about the results. And under leadership of Medical Director Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. And you can get your consultation right now totally free. All you've got to do, pick up the phone, give them a call, take action now on getting lasting joint pain relief. And you can call them in Murfreesboro at 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. QC Kinetics in Murfreesboro.
What's going on, guys? Bert and Ramon here to talk to you about the original hot chicken. That's Prince's Hot Chicken. And if you guys don't have anything going on every Thursday night, that's tonight at Tanger Allen in the Nolensville Pike locations. They got live music, karaoke, special DJs 6 to 9, Ramon.
They do, and on top of that, man, holiday catering is right around the corner. Go ahead and start planning for that. Go to princesshotchicken.com right now to go ahead and set that up. Whether it's 15 people or over 1,000, they can set you up from, the hot chicken, or they have vegan options available for you too. And Bert, we cannot forget about the fixing.
All them fixings.
Yes, indeed. Head to princesshotchicken.com to hit the original hot chicken for your holiday party.
RKW Remote, Caitlin Will wrapping up hour number 3 this morning. And the NFL week begins tonight in week 6. Thursday night football, Niners and Seahawks, 2 teams of the NFC West who need a win in a big way, who have not been great the past couple of weeks. Guys, did you know Juwan Jennings is leading the 49ers in receiving?
Did know that.
Gosh, yeah, they've had so many injuries, man.
He's killing
Good
it
for
right
him,
now.
though.
He signed that 1-year extension, basically bumping pay. That dude's going to be a hot commodity this offseason. I'm happy for him, man. He has grinded it out. You knew he could play. It's a matter of opportunity. And with Ayuk having a slow go to it and Debo being down, I mean, Purdy is okay. He's okay with them right now. This
is a weird, division race right now. I think people expected San Francisco to be that clear leader, and right now the Seattle Seahawks are 3-2 in the division, or and top of the division. But man, this is anyone's division at this point. Arizona Cardinals came out hot, and then they've digressed. San Francisco's worn with all those injuries, so this is a big game tonight for these 2 squads. So it should be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Cardinals went to San Francisco though and beat the Niners last week.
Yeah.
In a physical game,
24-23. That was the surprise of the weekend.
That's really the thing. You don't know who's who, really, right? It's like, well, the real NFC West leaders, please stand up.
I mean, but San Francisco's without, of course, Debo, and Ayuk is just not getting his footing, and McCaffrey's not there. And all they did was take advantage of what you need the Titans to take advantage of the Colts this upcoming weekend.
Sure.
Like, they went, the Niners are less than. And, I mean, it's not like the Arizona's got a bad quarterback. I mean, they got playmakers on that side, and they're making what you need to happen as far as finding ways to win. Kyle and them did it. I was happy to see it, although I was rooting for Juwan. Juwan, he's having a year, man. I hope he keeps this up. I hope he gets a Pro Bowl. And yes, I'm very biased in that.
There is a former Heisman Trophy winner heading to Nashville this week on his new television job. Did you guys see this?
I just saw it.
Cam Newton added to the First Take lineup, and First Take broadcasting from Tennessee State this weekend.
Yeah, I saw that they were previewing that. That's really cool that, going and representing the HBCUs. And Cam Newton, be interesting in seeing what he is like on, we've seen him in his podcasts, and he has some crazy takes sometimes, but I'm sure that will make for interesting TV with him and Stephen A. Smith for sure.
No, that's going to be big time right there. That's going to be pretty cool, man. I just want to see what kind of top hat Cam going to have on this time.
That's what I was just going to say, right?
Can you wear a headset with a hat that makes you look like the Alice in Wonderland character, the Mad Hatter?
Might have to have the earbuds like you all have.
I mean, this is the pathway right here for a lot of former athletes too. Get your podcast, build it up, and Cam has. I like the content he has from time to time, man. And next thing you know, the big networks will start calling.
He's polarizing.
He's specifically on a college side of this thing, if I'm not mistaken, too.
I don't know.
I think First, and this is permanent, right? Is from what all accounts are. So First Take kind of tackles everything too, So he's going to have to be on all platforms.
I just need him to get on the right page with Shedeur Sanders. That's all I need right now.
Is he kind of opposite of?
No, they had a very, very. They had an interaction that went viral where Shedeur wasn't really into dabbing him up before a game, warming up.
That's what that was. Okay. I kind of saw headlines but didn't read into it. So
yeah, it is what it is. Guys, I mean, we all talk and say a lot of different things. And it's, Shedeur took offense to some of the stuff he said too. And I think it was Travis Hunter did also. So, again, Colorado's one of those teams.
I would say Cam Newton is a perfect fit for what First Take is.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
It's not for everybody.
Like this is.
It's not for me. But I know it's for a lot of people, but I'm good.
I'll be honest, this actually makes me want to see it because I do like him. I do like how he's an agitator that goes at people like that from time to time. I'm into that, completely into that, especially if he can hold his water against Stephen A.
I wonder if the parent that wrote the letter to Cam Newton about celebrating too much against the Titans, remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
The letter saying, "Why are you're setting a bad example celebrating touchdowns against the Titans a couple years back." I wonder if she'll show up to TSU this week.
She got an opportunity. I know that much.
Maybe she'll have a sign.
His brother actually played at Tennessee State, too. I played in the East-West Shrine game with his brother, Cecil.
Oh, that's cool.
He was a center.
Very cool.
Cecil, man. Shout out to Cecil.
Coming up, Predators opening day. It is Hockey Christmas in the city of Nashville with big expectations. They host the Dallas Stars tonight, and Sean Henry, the Nashville Predators, will join us next. What's up? It's Will Bowling. You know I love talking about Whataburger. And guys, there's someone you've just got to meet. Fresh eggs, melty cheese, and a soft bun that will pair perfectly with your morning meditations. He's there for you after a long night or an early morning. And he'll come with either signature sausage or crispy bacon. His name is Bob. And if you start your morning with him, there's really nothing holding you back from making the day your best one ever. Come to Whataburger and meet Bob, the breakfast on a bun. And you know, with that 24/7 hours for Whataburger, they're open with breakfast from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. You can try the Bob, the breakfast on a bun, or you can go with my favorite, the honey butter chicken biscuit. And I like to throw in a Dr. Pepper shake from time to time as well in the mornings. To 16 Middle Tennessee locations, there are Whataburgers everywhere throughout Middle Tennessee, spanning from Clarksville to Murfreesboro, open 24/7, 364 days a year, only closed on Christmas. That's Whataburger with 16 Middle Tennessee locations from Clarksville to Murfreesboro. Whataburger, just like you like it.
What's going on? 9:01. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I am Robert Walsh. Titans with some roster moves yesterday, adding tackle Leroy Watson to their active roster, also adding veteran quarterback Trevor Siemian to the practice squad. When head coach Brian Callahan was asked about the addition, he had this to say.
We also signed Trevor Siemian today, currently to the practice squad, just to have another veteran quarterback, just have some learn this week and have some familiarity. So if we needed him for the emergency third on game day, we could potentially use him. So just with a quarterback dealing with an injury, it was the smart thing for us to do as an insurance policy to have Trevor come in and get some familiarity with our offense.
Titans and Colts' first injury report of the week is out. Jeffrey Simmons, coming out of the bye, was limited with an elbow injury. Will Levis was a full participant, though. On the Colts side, walking wounded as wide receivers Michael Pittman and Josh Downs not at practice. Pittman currently a candidate to be added to injured reserve. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Now for Sean Henry, Nashville Predators CEO, on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
And the show goes on into hour number 4, 9 a.m. in Nashville this morning on RKW. Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling. Pleased to be joined this morning by Nashville Predators CEO Sean Henry. Preds and Stars tonight. And Sean, I got to say, it kind of feels like hockey Christmas on the first day of the season. So a happy hockey Christmas to you this morning. How are you?
Same to you. It really does. This whole week felt like December 20th, and I was 11 years old. You don't sleep. You're excited. You can't wait. See some old friends getting together in the building again and kind of show off a few shiny toys and welcome the boys back.
Well, that's exactly right. You got some presents under the tree named Steven Stamkos and Jonathan Marchessault and Brady Shea. What excites you the most about this team and the energy you've got in that building moving forward into the new year?
I'm going to steal a line from Barry Trotz. We made all those signings this summer and then re-signed Saros, re-signed Carrier. We saw what we did last year. It's still fantasy hockey until tonight. And, it was fun. Anticipation's high. We're all excited. The guys that were on our team are excited. The guys that come in are excited. But now it's for real, But when you add 2 40-goal scorers to a team that had a 40-goal scorer, you can't help but be excited. When you get the biggest free agent on the defensive line, to join Roman Josi, I mean, if you're not pumped, you're not listening or reading. Our power play last year was, 15th or 16th in the league. So, average right in the middle. You add those guys, and it's going to be something. Might take, a little bit, a few games for them to start gelling together. But it's going to be a fun year. There's no doubt about that.
Predator CEO Sean Henry, our guest. Sean, the high expectations for this team, you mentioned it, and the production over the past couple of seasons that you bring in. How much are you guys in that building talking about the high expectations? How much are you kind of embracing this moment that there is a massive opportunity to really compete this season?
Yeah, we're pretty bold about what our desires are as the organization. All over our wall, we have our one goal philosophy to be the number one venue in the world built around a championship team. And that's what we strive for every single day. Whether you're missing the playoffs and taking a step forward on how to rebuild, or you get eliminated, 2 wins shy of the Stanley Cup. It doesn't matter if you didn't achieve, the ultimate prize. So every day, you wake up trying to figure ways to do things a little bit differently. And, when we hired Barry Trotz, the one thing that, he and I really locked arms on with Bill Haslam too, was let's become the model franchise in the NHL. Everyone talks about the original 6, which was great. They all have the ability to stay around for 100 years, which is wonderful. But it's time for a new Power 6 in our league, and I think we could be one of those. Look what Tampa's done, Florida most recently, Dallas, I think, obviously Vegas, and there's no reason that we can't be a model franchise. And I like the excitement. I like people believing that, we could be more than we ever have been before, because we're in sports. If your goal isn't to be the best, you should go get a new job.
Nashville Predators CEO Sean Henry joining us this morning on RKW. Sean, when it comes to this year, maybe some new things with Bridgestone Arena, you guys always have such a great fan experience. What have you guys done to even add to that this year?
Yeah, so we're literally just starting a $400, $500, $600 million renovation in the building. It'll take 10 years to do the whole thing, but this past off season, I think we put about $15 million into the building. A lot of new video boards, new marquee. When you walk in the main entrance, there's new video boards. Replace the Wi-Fi system. I'm guaranteed now that 17,000 people could be streaming a movie while they're watching our game. I don't know why you want to do that, but you can do that. Built out the new California Closets studio, which is pretty cool and exciting. Refaced a bunch of concession stands, and then created Nash's Fun Zone. I'm not real good with details, guys. You got to help me out. But Nash's Fun Zone is in the home of the old Sports Hall of Fame, and it's a 7,000 square foot area dedicated to kids. Where we have a rink in there, virtual reality games, video games. Nash will have scheduled visits in there, bubble hockey, some kids' favorite foods, and we have a bar for the parents to help pass the time too. But just a lot of fun things. But none of our renovations are ever complete until our fans get in and shake them out and tell us what's good, what's bad, what we need to improve, and what we need to finish. So we're just excited about where we're going. And again, it's fun to take a 28-year-old building and continue to plow money into it. So when people walk in, they believe the building's 4, 5, 6 years old. It strokes your ego a little bit, but at the same time, it reinforces how good your fans are and your partners are.
What can fans look forward to tonight in the Predators opener at home versus a team that they always have some fun with on the ice in terms of competition?
Well, first of all, if you're in school right now, get up and leave. If you're at work, leave. There's no reason to be at either one of them. The party starts on the plaza at 3 o'clock. I think we're doing the gold walk with the players. You'll high-fiving our fans at about 4:30. The building opens early. It's one of those things where 14,000 Smashville Loyal, our season ticket holders, get together. Some of them have been together since day one, and it's fun watching them literally hug each other because they haven't seen each other all summer. And then you mix that in with another 4,000 fans coming to maybe their first game or their 100th game, but it's a single game bye for them, and it's fun to see that mixture happen. I always say there's probably 200 or 300 people come to our building for the first time every single night, whether it be a concert like last night with 21 Pilots or tonight's opener, and you have an opportunity to show them how great Nashville is and how wonderful Bridgestone Arena is. And again, our fans, that's what excites me more than anything. When they start, their chants that they created or holding the lighters up, well, not lighters, I guess your cell phone up, we do Let It Be song, and who knows what they're going to create this year. There's always something that our fans create, and I sit back with my family watching the game and just enjoy it. Last time we played Dallas, it didn't end really well, so hopefully we don't have to cancel another concert after this game, and ideally we start the season out right. But it is a long season, and they're one of the 4 best teams in the league, no doubt about it. I think we are as well, so it should be fun.
Nashville Predators CEO Sean Henry with us this morning. You mentioned the city here, right here, Sean, and as far as making hockey a Nashville thing. I must say, I'm going to get a little flack because they always call me a little bougie, but that Lexus Lounge Club you guys got underneath there, man, what was the idea behind it? Because anytime I go, that's the only place I want to be at. So if you can give your number to Bert where I can contact you after this, but I'll be honest with you, it is a phenomenal event space underneath the hockey rink there.
Yeah, it really is. But just to let you know, man, I'm not giving you my phone number. If you want to get down there, you got to find me.
All right, I'm 6'6". I can look over a crowd and find you, just so you know. I will be looking for you, Sean.
Yeah, I'm hard to find them because I'm not 6'6". But I'll tell you, the genesis of the All-Inclusive Club, we actually started it when I was in Tampa, the first one ever, back in 2000. And we were the worst team in all sports, bar none. And we couldn't sell a ticket. We couldn't give a ticket away. You leave 4 on your windshield, come out after the game, there'd be 6 tickets there. And so we decided, you know what, let's build this great club. Let's have some fun, great food, great entertainment, do something a little different. And we ended up selling it out that year, and the team got on a run. So we were fortunate enough when I came here. We had that great space that was underutilized. It was a storage room. And we said, let's create something a little bit bigger, a little bit better. I mean, I think it's the best club in all sports. The guys enter the ice through the club, you get to high-five them. We created a new family room down there for our players' families this year. Again, going back to being one of the best franchises in our league, you want to make sure you're taking care of everybody associated with the team. It also freed up some more space to make it a little bit more comfortable down there. But the goal is always to add some type of premium club every other year or so. By doing that, we drive more revenue, and then we can try to keep our ticket prices as low as you can.
Yeah.
That's something that's very important to us on an entry-level standpoint. I'm always proud that we're about in the lower third in our league in pricing. Same time, it's still a commitment, by all of our fans. So we're going to make sure it's fun at every single level, whether you're sitting in 309 or sitting next to you in the Lexus Lounge. You got to make it great.
Preds CEO Sean Henry with us today. Sean, when it comes down to where you were in 2010 when you joined the Preds to where it is now, man, what can you say about this journey that you've been on with the squad as they've done some amazing things along this ride with you in the driver's seat with them?
Yeah, I'm just fortunate. I really, really am. We had great employees when I got here, probably 90 full-time employees. Now we have over 400 full-time employees. Back then we were in one building. Now we're in 4 buildings between the 3 Fordyce Centers and F&M Bank Arena. This community just says yes to everything we try, or they tell us, hey, dummy, change that. What's wrong with you? But that's where we're lucky, or I am. We get a chance to work with our fans and our partners, and we listen to them. I always say, we say yes to every idea. It might not be the exact path that you wanted when you came up with the idea, but we pursue the goal that you had. And, when you do that, really cool things happen. And, the community welcomes people from out of town, and you get a chance to do anything you want. Our foundation, I think it's one of the most active sports foundations in all sports across the country. And that's pretty humbling, too. When people, need a hand up or assistance, they reach out to us, and that allows us to grow, too. So this is the best city I've ever been in. We're never leaving no matter what happens. This is home for us. And I've been fortunate. Grew up in New York, lived in Detroit, St. Louis, Tampa, D.C., all great sports towns, but they all pale in comparison to this wonderful city.
Sean Henry, Nashville Predators CEO, has been our guest this morning here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Preds and Stars getting the party started tonight inside Bridgestone Arena. Sean, we appreciate the time. We are excited to follow this team throughout the season. Going to be a fun year. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it will be. Hopefully I'll see you guys tonight. But, Ramon, I'm going to Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh to see my Giants get killed. You got to send me a few places I got to visit, all right?
Sure. Okay, well, that means we must exchange numbers. No, I'll find you. And then, I'll find you, then I'll take your phone and give you my number. How about that?
That is a deal. Look forward to seeing you tonight, man.
I'll get that information over to you.
I love it.
Thanks, Sean.
There's Sean Henry with us this morning here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Really appreciate him as the Preds get started here tonight. Going to be a really fun year for them. It has been a couple of years since here in Nashville there has been championship level expectations for the local professional hockey team, and I think they are embracing that, as they should.
Can you break down for me and others, what does a 40-goal scorer look like in the NFL at any position?
A 1,000-yard receiver.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill?
I wouldn't say that far. I'd say a 1,000-yard receiver.
Okay. All right.
How many 40-goal scorers were there in the NHL last year?
I mean, we'd have to look that up. I don't know.
But that's a unique thing right there. Okay. All right. I was just wondering, it just adds more firepower to what you're asking of this team that already has some good bones to it. And, of course, handling the goalie situation and power plays, right?
17 players had 40 goals last year. So, at.
We're talking all pro.
1,000-yard receiver.
I mean, we're talking all pro stuff, right, in a sense.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do. Let me say that.
Yeah, not far from all pro. At least, at minimum, you've added Pro Bowlers to a team.
Last year, 17 players had 40 goals.
Yeah. There's a lot of players in the NHL.
Yeah. Okay. You're in the top
Forsberg
tier.
had 48. So, I mean, I feel like there's about usually 15 to 20,000-yard receivers now in today's NFL. So there you go. So you know. Yep. Coming up Thursday 3, football picks for the weekend. I am literally sitting here with an eraser about to maybe change one of my picks. I don't know what I'm doing. Don't clip that. We'll do Thursday 3 picks coming up next. RKW, Ramon, Kayla, Will continues in our number 4 on this Thursday morning. At Ramon Foster, at Kayla Anderson TV, at Will_Bowling, where you follow the show, at Ramon Kayla Will on Twitter. For this radio program that still calls it Twitter. The Thursday 3, 9:20 on Thursdays is when we give you a football weekend preview from the betting perspective. Guys, you know how much I love a home dog. You have got your fair share of home team underdogs this week, especially in college football. Have you guys looked at this? You've got USC, 4.5-point underdog at home against Penn State. You've got Oregon, 3.5-point underdog at home to Ohio State. You've got UMass at home hosting Missouri, getting 27.5 points. Ramon has put on his sunglasses for some reason during this segment, maybe so we can't see
witness protection.
The tears shining down from how bad he was at betting last week in this segment, that is. Colorado is a home dog to Kansas State. West Virginia to Iowa State. Guys, there's value all across the board today.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Ramon, what do you have to say for yourself? Last week, you had Oregon covering against Michigan State. Backdoor cover there was tough from Sparty.
Yeah.
You had the Steelers over the Cowboys. I thought that was a good pick, to be fair.
Oh, in hindsight.
And then you went with the Vols at Arkansas.
It was all heart last week.
And that looked good, too.
Yeah, it did. It did. It was all heart last week, and I refused to bet and do things from the heart. So I'm not going to let you into my soul is what I got going on right now. You can't see my eyes. You can't see how I feel.
I have follow-up question for Robert Walsh, and I think he knows where this is going. Your one loss last week was not only a loss, it was an ECU loss to Charlotte.
Dude, and they dusted
You guys
them,
were
man.
an 8.5-point favorite, and you lost by 30.
Yeah, they got dusted.
What happened?
Crazy.
They ran into Biff Poggy.
That is a name.
Hate it when that happens.
Yep.
Okay. Bert does not want to expand
I don't blame
on
you.
the Pirates' failures.
It's okay. We both our teams lost last week. We both got to fight back. We'll do it though.
We gotta get this money. We gotta get this money. Like I feel like I'm letting more folks down because I started off so well this year. You know what I'm saying?
It's not about how you start, how you finish.
I mean, don't hit me with y'all.
It's okay. They weren't trusting in you anyway. They had already didn't believe in you from last year. So you didn't lose nobody any money. I appreciate you thinking about that though. Thinking about the common man, Ramon Foster,
trying to
man pusher, bet pusher,
man shover, Ramon Foster.
You start practicing on that treadmill, Ramon, for 4 hours.
Hey, hear me out, man. I got my guy Sean Henry out here ready to help me get some premium seats. All right, Sean and me gonna discuss the Steelers and Giants.
You got to find him.
Look. It's already been said. He told me I couldn't get his number. Then he said, Ramon, hit me up about my Steelers and Giants. So which one is it? Is it Uchi Wale or is it one Mike? I don't know what it is right now, is what I'm telling you.
If you were in Bone Thugs and Harmony, you would be Bougie Bone.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
Bougie Mo.
He looks like he's run DMC right now.
I can have his
honestly.
perks right there. I got my Kango on right now. Look, and I'm in all black because I got to go work out after this. Either way.
What does that have to do with
Don't
working
see the
out?
sweat.
Everything matters right now, Will. I'm trying to win.
Why do you have to wear all black to work out?
Because it's
I'm
going
working
to a
out after
funeral.
this too. I mean,
at this point, never mind. I'm not going to go there. Not today.
well.
Not today. I'm ready to win.
Thursday 3. Well, the last shall be first this morning. Ramon, you take the first pick.
First pick
for the Thursday 3.
All right.
6-12 record overall.
Why you got to keep saying that out loud?
Well, because there's if we're going to tell people what they should do with their money, we need to also tell them what our records are. That way they know what they're getting into.
All right, for sure.
He's doing the right thing. All right, terrible better Ramon. Go ahead.
I'm going to a terrible lost team, Alabama, South Carolina this weekend, all right? Now, I can at least pile on them, all right?
Sure.
There we go.
They'll pile right back on you, but sure.
I mean, I know it, but they lost. Never mind, respectfully. Alabama, Vandy this weekond. I'm actually picking
Alabama
Vandy.
Vandy was last weekend.
Golly, I'm so thrown off. Don't bet with me.
Gosh.
Do not bet with me, people.
My gosh.
Are you betting
He showed
Alabama
up to
or
his
the
own
Vandy
funeral
game?
in all black.
I can't get over that one. Either way, all right. Alabama, South Carolina. I'm choosing Bama to cover by 21 because I've seen their coach this past weekend. South Carolina's do some boneheaded things as far as this game management goes, and there's one recipe for correcting a bad loss. And that is to beat down the next person you got to see. I'm picking Bama in Tuscaloosa to beat South Carolina. And I don't care how many bullets Dylan Stewart has. It won't be enough for Jalen Milroe. Okay? He missed a whole 100 shots this weekend.
So Alabama is minus 21.5 at home, 11 a.m. Central against South Carolina.
I had 21
Risky.
on my books, okay?
Well, 21.5 is the one you get on the official book.
Cheating.
That shall remain nameless.
You're trying to slant this to you.
Look, I've missed 3 bets by 1 point this year. I get it.
They got to beat them by 22?
21.5, so yeah.
Screw it. All right. I'll
get a half point.
It ain't called winning. It's called betting.
You can get an extra. You can get a 1 point safety and cover that way.
Yeah.
Don't bless my heart. I'm trying to win.
Bert, what you got?
I'm trying to win.
You go next.
I'm going to go with Ramon Steelers. There is no way that I could go into a week picking the Steelers playing a team that does not know who their starting quarterback is. That, to me, spells disaster. And I really don't care if it's Gardner Minshew, if it's Aiden O'Connell. That defense is going to be nasty. Whether it's Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, I like the 3 points. I'm going to take that. Steelers -3.
Hey, they need this too, Pittsburgh does. Mike T is finally getting some national hate.
Yeah. I've seen a little bit of
This is usually how it works, right? Like the Steelers will be really frisky to start the season. They'll lose a couple of games. And then the second you start doubting a Mike Tomlin team, they will win, and usually on the road.
It's almost like they lost 2 games in a row and lost control of the AFC North. Like I don't know what happened with that.
We're tied. Okay,
who's top of the AFC North?
I'm not sure. I'll have to check the record books. Hold on. Let me thumb through it real quick.
There's a paper pop.
AFC North here. It says the Ravens are on the top of the AFC.
Have you
North
heard back
right
from
now.
the guy, by the way, who made the Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard bet with you for a Derrick Henry jersey?
He called in after week 3. I have not heard from him since, but it's close. It's close.
Okay, fair enough. Kayla, what you got?
Yeah, and no one said I went 3-0 last weekend.
I did.
So
I said it yesterday. You said it as well.
Wanted to bring that up again.
We've mentioned it.
It don't
went
matter.
on a roll last weekend. Got to put that out there. So I am going to the college game first. And I think a lot of people have underestimated a school by the name of Brigham Young University, BYU, up in good old Provo, Utah. This weekend, they are taking on Arizona up there. First of all, it does get weird and wacky up in Provo, especially when their team's doing well. Yeah, it can be an interesting, hostile place to play in. Arizona is a weird team this year. I think there's some inner situations going on with some of their players there. I don't trust them on a base-to-base day, and they're not the favorite in this game. BYU is. So I'm going to take BYU at -4. The Cougars are a perfect 2-0 against the spread when they're favored by 4.5 points or more this season. Arizona has covered the spread once in 4 games this season. So give me those Cougars of BYU.
Go Cougs, BYU.
The wrong Cougs. That is not what their Cougs
is. -4.5. There it is. -4.5.
They're just
is the number 4.5 against Arizona. Guys, I'm picking the Titans. Titans are beating the Colts. And I just don't think this Colts team is very good. The way it's currently constructed, they are not healthy. The Titans have no business at home off of a bye week losing to this version of the Indianapolis Colts. I feel confident, and it's sometimes just your gut just gives you a level of confidence. I think there's a lot of reason to be confident in the Titans this weekend. I don't think that a team this bad at stopping the run can beat the Titans unless the Titans help them beat them. So, Titans -2.5 against the Colts, my first pick.
Okay.
All right, then. Well, my next pick goes to the complainer.
James Franklin.
James Franklin.
I knew exactly who you were talking about. He's been doing that since he was here in town.
Yeah, man, the complainer, man. Penn State is Southern Cal. I'm taking actually Southern Cal +4. The fact that he's out here and incorporating excuses of the loss lets me know that a setup is almost there. Now, I know they got a good team. They're still undefeated. He's going to use all that he said this week against this to motivate his squad, but I don't think it'll be enough going out there. I've played out there in that stadium. That stadium can be it seems airy. Like, as the crowd's not on you, you're separated. Yeah, you're separated from everybody, I feel like. So
when did you play there?
Was it UCLA? Yeah,
no.
UCLA.
That's the Rose Bowl.
That's the Rose Bowl. USC is the Coliseum right on campus.
Either way, I don't like them going out.
Similar though, the way
It's
the bowls
still-
are constructed, because it's not like in the Southeast we have steep stadiums that go straight up,
down.
Yeah.
and out there it's horizontal, and usually there's no fans.
Yeah, it's not.
Those are the two
best
hallmarks of
environment.
West Coast stadiums.
Either way, I'm taking a +4. It's called betting and not winning. Is what I'm going with now.
Okay.
If Ramon was an action figure today with a pull string, that's what it's called betting, not winning.
It's called fishing, not catching.
There's a snake in my boot.
It's called hunting, not killing.
There's
My daddy used to say it all the time.
bets in my boot.
So I'm making sense. It just don't make sense to y'all.
No, it's not dollars.
Clip that.
As long as you're winning, man, whatever it may. I mean,
We'll clip that. He's so quick with it.
Clip that.
Clip that.
Yeah.
One thing I like to do, I used to hop in on dogs and not dogs, but with this, I'm just trying to win. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at teams at the top of their market, the bottom of their market, and I feel like the Cowboys coming off the win of the Steelers is the best their market has been since week 1. So I'm going to have to go with the Lions -3 on the road. I don't give a dadgum about the home dog. That don't bother me. The Ravens went in there and did fine. I think the Lions are just as good as the Ravens are in the NFC. And this game actually matters. This game is for playoff implications. I think the Lions win it, and they do better than winning it by 3.
So you're going with 2 road favorites.
Correct.
Lions coming off a bye week. I can go ahead and tell you, just go ahead and pencil in one of my picks next week. Whoever plays the Lions always loses the next week. That's become a trend this season. So whatever the number is, give me whoever's playing the Cowboys next week. Because the Lions beat you up so much. I think there's something to it, honestly.
that's interesting.
I actually thought we had integrity when it came down to making picks, man. Y'all out here just doing softballs.
Kayla, what you got?
That's crazy.
Before I go to my NFL pick for my third pick, I'm going to stick with college football. And maybe I'm riding the wave a little bit on this one, guys. But Vanderbilt goes to Kentucky this weekend. And I kind of am a believer in carrying some momentum up there. I just think 13.5 is a lot of points to be favored by if you're Kentucky. They have a limited offense in terms of maybe what Diego Pavi and Vanderbilt can put out there. And I know Kentucky's defense has been good. I just think that's a big number at this point. I'm kind of believing the hype right now. Maybe they prove me wrong and I don't bet on them again, but I'll take Vandy plus 13.5.
Okay. There you go. Vanderbilt plus 13.5 in Lexington. This is a tough one. I'm going to go Oregon plus 3.5 against Ohio State.
Okay. Big
Ten teams this season, when traveling multiple time zones, Big Ten teams traveling at least 2 time zones in 2024 are 1-8. 1-8. A home dog ranked top 5 in the country, hosting a team traveling across the country. Give me the Ducks. Dylan Gabriel, this is why you transfer to Oregon. I think they got that offensive line fixed enough from their early season struggles to win this one. And Ohio State has been playing directional Midwest schools all year. This is the first time they are playing a real opponent. Oregon, I think, has seen enough real opponents to prepare them more for this game. Might be the first of 3 times we see Oregon play Ohio State this year. So enjoy it, because this is episode 1.
It'll be fun.
On Saturday night.
Yes. All right, here come my third pick for my 3-0 weekend. 6:30 in the South means something, does it not, y'all?
Yes,
I mean, it's tailgating all night long. All day long. Like you set up the jambalaya. You know what I'm saying? You lay out some gumbo. It might be cool enough down in Baton Rouge. Okay? So I'm actually taking the underdog in this one. Give me +4 as it pertains to LSU versus Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss got exposed a little bit. Lane had some bad looks on his face. I'm taking Tigers.
I will not give you +4, but I will give you +3.5.
+3.5?
That's the line now.
Oh.
Go Tigers.
That's not enough. Make it enough.
LSU +3.5 at home to Ole Miss. It's a good pick. I almost made that one of my picks myself.
Night game.
I don't know if the LSU defensive line can exploit Ole Miss's weaknesses enough on offense.
That's fair. It's good to lie. It's good to lie right there, Will.
Hard hedge. It's a hard hedge, guys. Just so you know, hard hedge. Commanders going to Baltimore this weekend. I will be at the game. I will be out Monday.
Scoreboard.
But +6.5 is a whole lot of points. And I got to have some kind of silver lining if I'm going to come in here on Tuesday and have a happy face and do the Burt job that y'all want me to do. So give me Commanders +6.5.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
The commies. Battle of the DMV.
Is that spread crazy to y'all? I mean, I thought it would be a little closer than
I looked
that.
on
The
that
number
too.
one scoring offense, you know?
I try to stay away from numbers that look that weird to me because Vegas knows better than I do. But yes, it is a really weird number.
Hopefully they're trying to get money on the Commander's side because they're going to rig it for the Ravens.
So you're okay with losing is what you're saying?
No, I'm not okay with losing. But in the instance that I do lose, I want a pillow to lay my head on at night, and this is my pillow.
And that's some ducats.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Kayla, your final pick.
Yeah, this is a big number too. I get it. The more and more I look into what's going on with the Patriots' protection issues, the more and more I worry about Drake May. He's going to make his debut at home, but it's going to be against the Houston Texans. I get it. Nico Collins is on IR, but there are other weapons. CJ Stroud, I'm a believer in this guy. I think that they put up points. New England is going to have issue putting up points. And this offensive line for New England has been getting beat the heck up. It's not like Houston's not going to take advantage of that. I'm going to take the Houston Texans -7. I know it's a lot, but I have faith.
I almost took Patriots as my third pick.
Oh, you bold.
I think they're going to be frisky with a new quarterback making his debut, and the Texans are really going to miss Nico Collins.
Oh, you bold.
Interesting.
Will.
But we'll see. I wasn't confident
bold.
enough in it to put any real money towards it. I am confident, though, in the Chicago Bears. This week at home, Caleb Williams figured some things out against the lowly Panthers, and the lowly Jags are in town. There is value in 1.5. -1.5. You just got to win by field goal. Caleb Williams against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I think will be turnover prone against a very opportunistic Chicago defense. I think it's a weird number, but I'm going to take it this time. It can be Bears -1.5 at home over the Jaguars.
Did you know that Andy Dalton has averaged 1 win a year against his former teams since leaving the Bengals? He lost to the Bengals already this year. So people are saying that this could be the Andy Dalton revenge game of the year.
Interesting.
Bears, Jags?
Oh, I'm so stupid. Forgive me. Never
Flip
mind.
that.
I'm going to retreat into.
I was like,
will
wait,
not
is this
flip
his
that.
next pick?
Who's number one in the AFC North with education now? Huh?
Anyway, coming up, we're going to wrap up the show. Appreciate Sean Henry. Appreciate
There is
Coach
some
Mack.
news.
way, yeah.
There is some news about a former Titans assistant who has a bigger role now.
Wow.
Coming up next. Will Bowling here, getting you ready for the Tighten Up tailgate. Gray and Dudley this Sunday before the Titans take on the Indianapolis Colts. We're there Sundays before home games from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. We have got a special offer for you: a burger, a beer, a parking spot, valet parking. Mind you, at the Bankers Alley Hotel, $40. As good a deal as you are going to find. The smashed burgers are excellent. The grilled onion, the bacon, the cheese, they are terrific. Plus, you're going to get the options of brats, the mac and cheese, the collard greens, the drinks. We've got you covered before Titans and Colts this upcoming weekend. Usually got a giveaway as well. It is a great, great time. Crowds have been awesome. Invite you to come hang out with us. Bankers Alley Hotel. That's 221 2nd Avenue North in downtown Nashville. Come park, walk over to the stadium, grab a beer and a burger before you head on your way as well. That's Gray and Dudley at the Bankers Alley Hotel this Sunday, 9:30. RKW wrapping up the show this morning. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and wherever you download podcasts, coming up in seconds. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and 1045thezone.com. Todd Downing is the new offensive play caller for the New York Jets.
Woo-wee. Come on down, Todd.
Jeff Ulbrich, the interim head coach of the Jets, making that decision today, demoting to Nathaniel Hackett. So Todd Downing taking charge of the Jets.
I know it didn't end well here for Todd Downing in many ways. I will give him just a teeny bit of credit. He had a good offense in 2021, and the numbers were pretty good. But there was a lot after that didn't really go his way. So maybe the Jets can, turn things around with him, but I don't have a lot of hope.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens in the coaching world. I mean, just because it doesn't work here doesn't mean it won't work somewhere else. And if they don't want to go with Nathaniel, then it does boil down to a guy that's been in this position where he's had to manage star wide receivers. And they have, a couple of those in New York and dealing with a quarterback that wants to have it his way. And this is a perfect scenario for him. Again, you are as good as sometimes your characters. And they got some good ones in New York. And here's a guy that's called a good offense here at Tennessee. Good enough is what you say in those situations. But rinse and repeat. Again, it's the same situations and stories across the league. Congrats to him, man. And it's also just makes me think, well, Aaron Rodgers has it to where, hey, don't make Nathaniel the immediate leader. Just give it to somebody else. But he claims he doesn't have that type of power on the Pat McAfee show.
Apparently people think Jeff Ulbrich looks like Mike Vrabel.
He does.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I looked at it.
I don't really see it.
I looked at it a couple times, and I was like, yep, I could totally see it. To each is your own.
Yeah,
you can go look and make a decision for yourself.
I did. I don't see it. All I see is a beard covered up chin, and I'm just thinking, like, what's the correlation in that one other than him having a beard and a square face? Like, I don't get Vrabel vibes.
Same kind of nose, too.
Just throw him in the ring and let him fight it out, I guess, if that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the technology that came out of Japan this week?
No.
I don't know why. How could you not?
Is it not Nintendo?
Japan has invented a beer glass that makes you drink slower. The shape of the glass slows down the pace of drinking by about 3 times. Robert Walsh quickly putting his headphones back on to weigh in on this.
It wouldn't stop me.
That's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't stop me. You could still shotgun that thing. If you bust a hole in the side, you could still take it all out. When the guy's drinking from it too, it's built like an hourglass, so it kind of like sweeps in, like you know how the like a toilet bowl flushes. That's how the beer comes down out of it. So I don't know. You would have to like wide lip it. You'd have to like lizard lip it to like get all the beer in your mouth without it spilling all over yourself.
Yeah, like why are we doing this anyway? Like who's asking to drink beer slower? Like we got Stone Cold Steve
Japanese
Austin
people.
like jamming beer cans together on WWE and WWF. Like we've never been a slow beer drinking country. Why would we be advertising
It's not this country that it's advertising it. It's Japan.
Guys, get together. Watch this. See how slow I can drink my beer.
Never said anybody before. They hadn't seen keg stands. Like, what are we talking about here?
Maybe they're trying to save money. I don't know.
Never heard that before. Okay.
The goal
bone.
is to force patrons to savor their beer in smaller, more controlled sips.
I mean, we
Savor
might
that natty light.
serve it warm if that's what we're doing.
They are smaller over there, so I wonder if like if they drink 3 beers, that's like our 8 beers. So
Yeah.
like they might hop in their little Toyotas and drive if they drink that many. So they'd slow them down, so now they can drive their liquor sickles.
Yeah, here in the United States, we are putting vortexes and grooves in long necks of bottles to make the beer go faster.
Us in Germany, right? Das boots and everything.
You do not know ball, Japan.
They must not have seen how we celebrate the 4th of July here. Right?
That's apparently it's the Yoho Brewing Company. Is that their translation of yeehaw that we have here? Is yeehaw Yoho
Brewing
in Japan?
Replicate it.
Yeah, I don't even know at this point, but congrats on drinking beer slower. I mean, if it was bourbon slower, I get that's when you really taste the flavors.
Now
in
we're
them, but
talking.
like now, see, look at him. Now he's got it together.
Now we're
Look at you.
talking.
How do you say the name of the bourbon drinking? Glycerin? Glycerin?
I don't know.
Glycerin.
No idea.
It's the cup that you sip bourbon.
No, I like the little bourbon
okay.
glass thing.
Glycerian?
I am not near bougie enough to know what that's called.
I'm surprised you don't know the name of that.
I mean, it's a lot. I'll botch a name.
I didn't know it had a name.
It does. It's the name of the glass. It's the glass type.
It's called the snifter.
What?
You're
No,
lying.
it starts
You
with
are
a G.
not.
You may also know this classic as the brandy bowl or a balloon glass. It's a curved glass often used in bourbon tasting and cocktails. The wide bottom and
Yeah.
narrow rim guides aromas to the top, revealing the bourbon's hidden flavors and allowing you to savor and delight.
But you don't see the name that has a G to it. Glycerian.
That sounds
I thought it was glycerin.
sounds like a dragon from Game of
All right,
Thrones.
it's early, but Buck's already here, so we know he can't be late.
My guy
So,
Nathan just hit me up.
appreciate
man.
Sean
no,
Henry.
I'm not going to the Florida game.
Everybody else coming out. Great show today, guys.
Great karaoke session. That was awesome, Bert.
Oh, yeah. What am I doing? Playing the
Yeah,
wrong
no,
song?
yeah,
Right?
why are you?
Come on now.
Again, if
Give
you
the
are
fans what
listening,
they
if you're
want.
watching on Zone TV, I'm gonna filibuster for 10 seconds.
Yep.
Pull up the 104.5 The Zone app right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribed to the video. If you are subscribed to the video, I give you permission to switch to the 104.5 The Zone app. If you've not subscribed to the YouTube channel, then there's nothing for you. You're going to pull up the app. You're not going to hear Robert Walsh's musical stylings for Coach Mack to finish the show.